properties. Let's see. How about that? Is that better? It now thinks there's sound. Woohoo! I'm very confused as to how that even happened. Whatever. Anyway, welcome everyone. So I had a conversation with people who do not actually exist. So, where I was not actually audible. So, what time is it where you are, 11 Tickles? Was one of the things I asked. And then I mentioned that Ranks did Kodama today, which was exciting for me to watch. The second of the Zeta math themed S-cell puzzles. $9:20 a.m. Yeah, if you wanted to get up in time to see the start of Rank's stream, you'd have to be up pretty early. Yeah, I really liked how Kodama came together. It sort of ended up being pretty natural. I did break that one a bunch of times, but I was happy with the final product once I got past all of that. Let's see. Okay, I think all the settings are reasonable. Yeah, Totally Normal Cat puzzles do have a tendency to be quite difficult. So my plan for today is to begin this puzzle with the hopes that between today and next stream we'll be able to finish Eye of the Storm by Totally Normal Cat. We'll see. Fingers crossed. We haven't had a multi-stream puzzle yet, but this is a good contender for being a multi-stream puzzle. Starting it nice and early so that so we've got lots of time. The rules of this are terrifying. I think Fistamafel had a similar rule set, although I think it was a case of parallel evolution rather than direct emulation. No one's good at chaos construction puzzles. That's what makes them so fun. And how is everyone's weekend going? Wherever in that weekend you may be, based on what time zone you're in. Let's see, okay. Bengals. I don't know what sport Bengals is. Though I should guess football, because football will cover two sports depending on which region you're in. Oh, is there a football tomorrow? Apparently there is a Super Bowl tomorrow. Which you would think I would know, but I absolutely do not. I've occasionally known when there was a Super Bowl, if there was like a food-oriented event surrounding it, but I do not have any food-oriented Super Bowl activities tomorrow. That would be fun, yes, if it were based on the actual Bengals. That sounds pretty good to me. Let's see. Should we get started with this puzzle? I'm never quite sure if I should get started like with the actual puzzle, or if I should wait until the official start time of the stream to get started with the puzzle. But I figure since people are sort of in a lack of things to do between my stream and Rank's stream, I should at least start the stream and start talking to people. I could have done the Squardle, but then Ranks did the Squardle, so I can't do the Squardle for you. I guess I could do a different Squardle. One moment. Let me pull up a random Squardle, and then we'll do a Squardle to get started, so that we can have finished a puzzle today. One moment. Okay, here we go with completely the wrong camera layout, I see. Let's try the Penpa one, and then we'll try just moving me over here. Hey, Codec, welcome, welcome. So so that I don't start the actual main event before 4:30 my time, I'm going to do a Squirtle. So I put the link in the chat to this, and Squirtle kindly has a free play mode. So Ranks did the today's official Squirtle earlier. I was very happy. I got one of the words involved in it. So we'll see if we can do the same thing. Oh, and then I realize I closed the chat. Okay, there we go. Okay, got the chat, got the thing. Yeah, that's another feature that I think would be very nice for. And I get that this feature is partially a combination of something F-Puzzles doesn't do very well, and then integrating that with the CTC thing, but letting CTC check things without regions would be nice. All right, so just to give you the overview of the rules of what happens in Squirtle is that you're trying to guess words, much like in Wordle. So I might, for example, guess... I might, for example, guess the word fling. And notice I'm simultaneously guessing the word in two different axes. I'm guessing it across the top and down the first column. And it'll tell me the usual stuff that you're used to if you've been doing any of these Wordle variants. So it will tell me, for example, that there is an N here, and it's lit up in green to indicate that, hey, whatever this 5-letter word is, this letter is an N. And then it will give me a few other forms of feedback. So these dark gray F, I, and Gs, those are telling me that there are no figs anywhere in the puzzle. The L and the N, being this light gray, are telling me that there's no L or N in this word or in this word. Sorry, there's an N in this word. Sorry, there's no L in this word. And so now I get to guess, okay, this word. So all I know about this word is that it does not start with an I suppose. I guess I know it doesn't start with an I, an F, or a G. So let's guess. We'll make Simon happy and go with siren, the CTC official starting word. Should we do that? Or should we do octal, since we've already done some of this? We'll do siren, why not? Okay, so we'll do siren, and so now you can see that there's more colors floating around in Squirtle than there are in Wordle. Because now I've got this yellow indicating that there is an S in this horizontal word. And now I've got this R indicating that there is an R in the vertical word and the horizontal word. So this is like a 4-pointed compass. And now this E is actually telling me that there's an E in this word. And there's also an E in exactly this position in either this word or this word. Yes, I do like crane for starting with for Wordle. Let's see. Should we try crane now? Let's try crane now. We'll try crane there. It'll probably give us some repeat information, but that's okay. I'm not very good at Squirtle, so it's okay. Okay, so that gave us some more information. It gave us another letter officially in the grid. Okay, and so now we have to try and make an educated guess as to either the down word or the across word. So the across word does not contain any of these jajillion letters and has an S there. So if it doesn't have those letters, it probably has an A or an E, or maybe an A and an E. Let's see. I'm going to try mused. let's see. Laser would also have been a good choice, but I saw it right after I had typed mused in. The double letter's unlikely, but it is good to find out if there's a double letter in your word, because it does tell you if that happens. Okay, so now this word, the down word, we know contains... Actually, we know lots of things. We know it contains an E, an N, an A, and an R, and it starts with S. So this downward word, we actually know every letter that appears in it, right? It's got to be sneer, right? I think it's got to be sneer, because all those letters have to show up in it. Oh, it could be saner. It could be snare. Okay, so there's multiple words it could be. It doesn't have an N. It does have an N, doesn't it? Isn't this N down here telling me it has an N? I'm looking at the vertical word. Yeah, I think of all of those, snare is the one I like best. And it is snare, so good job, whoever said snare. Someone said snare. Oh, there we go. Eleventicles said snare. Okay, so we got that one. And you'll notice you get an extra guess when you get a word with your guess. So that's helpful. Okay, so now we have, again, two words to look at that we can see if we know anything about them. So the across word, we know contains an E, except we already know there's an E here. So there's an E here, a D there, and then we don't really know anything else of value, I'm going to say. The down word, we know contains an E, except we already know there's an E, doesn't contain an N. Yeah, we don't know much about this one either. So I think in both of these cases, we don't really know a whole lot other than what's not involved in the word. Yes, an insane cat puzzle is lined up for today's stream and possibly into next stream. We'll see. We haven't had a multi-stream puzzle yet, but I think that puzzle has a good chance. Green I really like, except I know this cell's not a G. Let's see. What words start D blank E blank blank? Trend. Okay, so Eleventicles is suggesting trend. Oh, except I know that letter's not an N. In fact, I know there's not an N in it. Let's see. Dream. Let's just guess dream. Okay, so we got... we got some extra letters, so dream is good. Let's see. Okay. Now, this word we know has an M that doesn't go there. So the vertical word has to have an M here. Unless, does anyone know any MND words? I don't think I know any MND words. So I like Tristan's suggestion of amend. Tristan is correct, as he often is. Now this is looking like asset and treat, I think, are going to be the across and vertical words, but we're not guessing that one. We're currently guessing this E blank A blank E word. Oh, but it does have an R in it, so it goes E-R-A blank E. I'm going to guess S. Yeah, well, it has an S in it, too. Okay. It has to be a race. There's no other choice. We knew it had an R in it that wasn't here, so it had to go there, and we knew it had an S in it from the front, which I had not paid attention to. Okay. I'm pretty sure this word is treat. And it is. I'm pretty sure this word is asset. And it is. And so now we have 5 guesses to figure out what this word is. D blank E blank T. It doesn't contain lots of letters, but it does contain some letters. Unfortunately, none of our letters up here are helpful. D blank. Can't be R. As much as I would love it to be R, dwelt. That seems plausible. Excellent. Eleventicles nails it with dwelt. Would have been a while before I got to dwelt, so nicely done. Alrighty, yeah. So Squirtle, I'm pretty sure, uses the Wordle list. So Wordle has two lists. Wordle has a list of words that are nice enough to actually be the word, and words that are nice enough that it will sort of shrug and say, I'll count that as a valid guess. And the second list is much longer than the first and contains lots of more obscure words. I'm pretty sure Squirtle uses the second list as its list of words that can appear. Okay, so with that, we now have Eye of the Storm, except I have to switch back to this mode. Look at that, me remembering to switch what the camera looks like so you can actually see the rules and everything. I'm becoming a regular old professional. So this is the latest TotallyNormalCat puzzle that apparently the other cat has done, but that cat took 3 hours to do it, I think TallCat said. 2 hours, 45 minutes. So we'll see if all of us, including TallCat, can do this in under 2 hours and 45 minutes. So the way this works is that one of these arrows, so this is a chaos construction, I should say, first of all. So I have to build the regions. So I could build, for example, that region. And then this would be a region that would contain the digits 1 through 9 once each, just like every row and column. So that is, that's how that works. Now, the only hint we have, in addition to these handful of digits that tell us what digit might go in that cell in the final grid, are these arrows, which give you a circle and a direction and tell you how many of the cells in that row... Oh, no, sorry. It's not even that row, is it? Are in the same... Is it that row or is it not that row? Sorry, I should have read the rules more closely before I went to this. The arrow is telling you how many digits... Okay, sorry, I need to scroll back to the LMD page and the... Oh, maybe it does not spell it out more clearly here. N cells in that arrow's direction. Oops. Backwards, forwards. We'll get there eventually. Yeah, I don't know what this means. So fortunately we have the setter here, so the setter can clarify. When I say, so if I say this is a 4, am I saying that there are 4 total cells in this row, or am I saying that there, like, is this a valid way to fill this because there are 4 cells over here? Is that what I'm saying? So is it like the hemisphere, or does it include this circle? We've done all the various sorts of compass flavors. So TallCat says not including this circle. So it's everything. So this circle, the example. For example, if row 9, column 9 was a 2, then row 7, column 9, and row 8, column 9 would be part of another region. Okay, it's only in the row or column. Okay, I'm starting to get this. And it's only counting the contiguous part. Okay, so this is far nicer than I thought. Okay, so we're only counting. We'll get there eventually. So we're not even counting the whole row. We're only counting immediately in front of the arrow until the boundary. So let's write in the, and I realize the example's actually even in this text. So if this is a 2, it says these 2 cells are also in the region, with this, and nothing else is, so it stops. Now, one possibility that seems to be excluded from this is that I originally thought was actually we're not allowed to do this kind of nightmare. Where this, I think, in this instance, if the grid looks like this, I think this cell is a 1 and not a 3. TallCat can correct me if I'm wrong. Sorry, TotallyNormalCat can correct me if I'm wrong. But I think it's only counting how many cells it sees up to the first wall. So even though these are in the same direction, I think they're not counted. Oh no, so sorry. And TotallyNormalCat says that in fact I am allowed to do this. So this is not a 1. Oh no, the circle would be a 1. Okay. So the circle is a 1 in this instance. Yeah, that's fine. I was actually afraid of this when this would be a 3, because if this would be a 3, then that would make this extra hard. So I think in the Fistamafel version of this puzzle with a similar rule set, I think Fistamafel puts a 3 here in this circle, but I could be wrong. Okay, so it's just how many cells it sees up until the first wall, regardless of what happens behind it and all that kind of thing. Okay. Hey, Nicholas. Okay, so with, I think, now understanding the rules, I think we should now pencil mark all of the things. Okay, and also another thing that means is that for all the arrows, both the cells and the arrow are always in the same region. So both the circle and the arrow, which was not clear before. Okay, so these two, for example, are in a region. I don't know what the region is, but they're in a region. They can't possibly split, because if they were split, then this would be a 0. And I'm not allowed 0 in this puzzle. Okay, so that means that this cell, for example, is a 1, 2, 3, or 4, because it can only contain some number of those. This is also a 1, 2, 3, or 4. These are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, 9s are, I believe, excluded from every circle. 9 cannot go in a circle, because if 9 went in a circle, that would be saying that there are 9 cells, not counting the circle, that are in it, which has 2 problems. One problem being that it would put 10 cells in the region, and the other being that it would run off the end of the grid. So even this cell is, for example, at most a 7, although I don't super want to pencil mark cells that are at most 7, but I will do all the ones that are 5 or less. So this one can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, except it can't be a 5 because of the given 5. So that's a 1, 2, 3, 4. Any one of these could be as high as 8, I believe. Let's see. This one can be 1, 2, or 3. I don't know how I missed that one. Let's see. 2, 3, 4, 5. This one can be 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. We do not have a bet cell. Do you have a suggested bet cell, TotallyNormalCat? If not, I will pick this one. So I'm going to be inclined to pick this one, but if in the next 2 minutes TotallyNormalCat wishes to suggest a different cell, I will move the guessing circle. This one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I already labeled that one even. Okay, so this can be our bet cell for the puzzle. Yeah, so 9 is in one of these 4 cells in the row. There's some vague possibility that there's going to be like a swordfish on 9s or something. I don't think so, but that is a definite possibility. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so now the question is, can I get any more joy out of the fact that some of these circles are going to run into each other? because this whole arrangement, for example, I want to eyeball this with great suspicion. So I'm going to select all of these cells in yellow, but I'm guessing these are not all part of the same region. In fact, I'm certain these are not all part of the same region. And so let's first say, why are these not all part of the same region? Well, if these were all part of the same region, then this would also be part of the region, and every single one of these circles would be a 2. And that would put many 2s into this circle of death. The eye of the storm, as you might call it, for example, if you were to look at the title of the puzzle. Which means that these are not all part of the same region. And that tells me that one of these, at least, is a break. And so that tells me one of these has to be a 1 in order for this to possibly work. Now, those are aligned very poorly, because knowing one of these has to be a 1 does not immediately begin to tell me too much. Let's see. Could only one of these be a 1? If only one of them is a 1... in fact, 2 of them are 1s, because if only one of them was a 1, look what that would do. So let's say this one's a 1 and none of the others are 1s. Well, then this would be not a 1, this would be not a 1, this would be not a 1, and so all of these would again end up in the same region, which is a problem because among many other problems, this 1 is wrong. So in fact, actually, we have an honest X-wing on 1s. Now, we can't possibly have more than 2 1s in these cells. So what that means is either these 2 are 1s. So let's draw the 2 possibilities. So these 2 could be 1s. Oh, that's right. I have to turn the air checking off. Thank you for reminding me of that, Logan, and then me immediately forgetting to do it. So let's just imagine 2 of these were 1s. What would that look like? Then that would look like, okay, so this actually would end here. This would now be some greater than 2 number. This would be a 1. This would end here. And so these would be in separate regions. So we could make that blue instead, for example. And so what this looks like is always going to be sort of 2 tetrominoes in this L shape circling the 8. And the other numbers are just going to be pointing at them, and I don't think we're going to know anything about them other than that they're going to be at least 2, but of course they're at least 2. Okay, so that is what I know so far, is that I have an honest X-wing on 1s here. Now, I suspect that what I'm supposed to notice is that tells me that these circles aren't 1. I'm going to de-yellow this because I'm going to start coloring my regions. These 2 digits are now not 1. So these are from 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They can't actually be 9. I'm pretty sure they can't actually be 8. But they're not 1 in particular, which means actually this is a region, and this is a region. So in fact, actually, these can't be 8, because if they were 8, they would both be 8. And in fact, actually, they can't actually even both be as big as 5. So yeah, this one, purple cannot enter green. If purple enters green, then we have a very big problem. Because if purple enters green, then purple is green, and then both of these have to be 8. So in fact, actually, neither of these can be larger than 5. So I think these are from 2, 3, 4, 5, in fact, by basis of the fact that they're pointing at each other. Now, so this is very interesting, because now one of these So these can't both be 2. So one of them is actually going to be bigger than 2, and it's going to get entangled in this mess in some way. So it's going to join the L-shaped tetromino that we know exists in here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So that would be already 7 cells that would exist in here. And now TallCat is making a good point right away that this one can't actually be 3, because if this was 3, then we'd be saying those are the same region and this is a different region, which is obvious nonsense, because the arrows, the way they're worded, they always are in the same region. Okay, so this is not a 3. Let's see. Okay. This cell is going to do something very similar where it's going to be trying to join in on this whole cyclone over here. And so we can look at what this can really be. So this can't be very large, because no matter how my tetrominos are arranged, this and this are not in the same region. Because of the displacement, because of the way the 1s work, I always cross exactly 1, 1 as I circle around through here. So the fact that these 2 aren't in the same region says that this circle can't possibly be larger than 3 at the biggest. Because if it was a 4, it would be putting those 2 in the same region. So this is a 1, 2, or a 3. We also get. Yeah, and so now we can let's go and try and pick up. People in chat are pointing out various other consequences of this whole you can't pick up half of an arrow business. So the fact that this can't pick up half of an arrow means that it can't be 4, for example. Let's see. The fact that, let's see, this can't be 3 because it could pick up half of an arrow. Let's see, where else are things pointing at arrows pointing at arrows? This one. So I didn't really want to pencil mark this, but let's do it just in case, because it can't be a 9. I think it could be an 8. It can't be a 6. But the thing it can't be a 5. I think people are pointing out that this one can't be a 5 because it would split this arrow in half. Okay. Why are people saying this can't be a 5? Let me look at that. So if this is a 5, that's just saying all of those. Oh, because it's... No. So this can't be a 4, if I counted correctly. Why are people saying this can't be a 5? Because I already removed I already removed 4 from it. It would make the other arrow also a 5. Oh, okay, got it. This is a different. This is not the splitting arrows in half comment. This is the arrows pointing at each other comment. Right. If this were a 5, then this whole strip would be a green strip, and so that would not work. So yeah, in fact, that's not 5, and that's not 5. Because if either of these were 5, it would then end up doing that. Okay, and in fact, this can't be 4, because it would split this arrow in half. I don't know how I missed that one. And so now, there's definitely a border either here or here. So one of these 2, I don't know which one, but I'm going to draw them in. One of those 2 is definitely a border. I want to think if I know one of these 2 is definitely a border, what does that tell me about 1s? So my 1s are either here and here, in which case that would say the border is there, or my 1s are here and here, in which case that would put the border there. So I don't think that observation by itself tells me which side of this the border is. But I think if I think more carefully, I'll get more. So this cell can't actually get to 3 anymore. Because if this cell were a 3, it would join green. And again, one of these two is a border. And so actually, I should have just looked at it this way. One of these two is a border. What's this cell? Well, it's either 1 or 2. It's not 3. So this is a 1 or a 2. This is a 2 or a 3. Now, what happens with this cell and this cell? So, yeah, if this is a 2, then this is, of course, a 1. So then this would be a region, this would be a region, and then these would be a region. Does one of these break? If this is a 5, then this would be a 2. That doesn't work. Okay. So if this is a 5, that now breaks. If this is a 5, purple now goes down to here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But now that means this circle is also counting purple, and so it's a 2. But now this digit's now forced to be a 3, but then that puts green on top of purple in a way that is uncomfortable for both of them. So this cannot be a 5. So we're really narrowing in on what's going on in this column. So apologies, by the way, I've not been looking at chat super closely as I'm going through this because I'm trying to articulate all of the possibilities about this. I promise I will look at chat soon because soon I will be completely stuck. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, so if this is a 4, yeah, if this is a 4, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is a 1. If this is a 4, this is a 1, and if this is a 2, this is a 1. So this is always a 1. Okay, so we get 2 digits. That's a 1 and that's a 1. So that, and I think that is dance worthy. I'll go for that. Let's see. Okay, so now I have to. So I have these digits, and they're right. But Tristan says Codec is smarter than me. So let's find. How did Codec say that? Let's see. Let me go back. If row 4, column 3 is a 2, so let's go back to Codec. So if row 4, column 3 is a 2. Okay, yeah. So Codec's way was, instead of looking at the interaction of all 3 of these, Codec actually saw that you got the same thing. If this is a 2, it says those 2 are together, but this being a 2 just by Sudoku makes this a 3, which then makes them overlap. Okay. I don't think that was so different from what I saw, but anyway, we'll go ahead and mark those as 1s. So, okay. So now we're already going to have problems, aren't we? Because now I know that this tetromino is in a region, and this tetromino is in a region, but I don't know how those interact with these. So I'm going to try to denote that in the worst possible way and hope it goes away quickly. Oh, no, I can't. Oh, yeah, I can. Okay, there we go. So those are all in a region. Those are all in a region. And these 2 regions are different. Okay. So let's try and figure out if we can decide which of these happens. So if this is a 4, then we'd be saying all of this is together. Yeah, I can mark that I know there's a boundary here. Yeah, I don't actually know if there's... Oh, I do actually know now there's a boundary here, but I don't know if there's a boundary here or not. So I can mark that I know there's a boundary in this case. So this is really a question of, does this region grab this piece or not? Okay, and so here's the thing I want to look at. If I join these two regions, now I have to be extra careful that I don't repeat this circle digit, because I'm going to be almost done, and so this is going to want to be bigger, and it's not going to be able to. So let's think about this both in the context of if green is a 3 and takes all of these, and if instead purple is a 4 and takes all these. So if green is a 3 and takes all of these, then we're saying this cell can't be 3 anymore. It could, I suppose, be 2. It couldn't be much larger than that. Let's see. If this is a 2... okay. If this is a 2, this is a 3. Now this cell's at least a 4. And so that would force this shape. Which, unfortunately, there's a big problem with this shape, which is that it has exactly 9 cells in it, and 9 is not bigger than 9. So that's, I think, not useful, immediately, at least. So, but here's an observation that will almost assuredly be helpful at some point. If this circle is a 2, it forces green to look exactly like this. And then it forces, of course, this pentomino here to grab the 8. Let's see. Okay, so what about the arrow in row 5, column 1, says TotallyNormalCat. Sorry. No, it says TotallyNormalCat. I got the right cat that time. Let's see. I don't think there's an immediate restriction on this. I could be wrong, but I think actually the world where this is 1 means it separates it from the region that already has a 1, so thumbs up. Or in the world where this is more than 1, well, then it joins this region, but then this wasn't going to be that anyway. So I think I'm going to need to be smarter in order to say something about this. I'm not quite ready to delve that deeply into this yet. Let's see. So if this is a 4, then we've spoken for 7 cells total. Can this ever be a 4? Because if this cell's a 4, I actually create a line here. And I guess the answer is this can be a 4 as long as it's not pink. Because as long as it's not pink, then I can come up here and finish this. But annoyingly, again, that works because if pink is a 4, of course this isn't a 4. Because then this is pink. Let's see. Kodak says... Oh, sorry. Kodak is responding to Nicholas. Let's see. What was Nicholas looking at? If row 9, column 3 is a 3, all these come together. Row 5, column 3... Sorry, row 6, column 3 is a 2. It's a 2 or a 4, right? Because it could sneak over here like that. Row 3, column 9. Sorry, row 3, column 9. It can only be 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's look at that. Ranks is looking at this. Okay, so these two arrows. So this arrow can't exactly subsume this arrow. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's funny. That observation exactly gives me the same information that this given 6 gives me. Okay, so why can't this be an 8? So if this is an 8, this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This would be a 6. Okay, TallCat is suggesting that we invert what it is we're coloring, which I will do on the basis of the fact that TallCat has solved the puzzle and I have not. And so we can think about how all of these arrows that are pointing at yellow interact. Okay, so how many of these circles are yellow? That is the question, I think, to ask. Can 0 of these circles be yellow? That would make this a 2, and this a 1. No, I'm not seeing it. Okay, let's look at chat for a while. Okay, so the little arrow in row 5, column 1 means that area is either 8 or 10 cells. I'm not sure which area that area is yet. Let's see. Carl says if row 1, column 3 is a 4, and row 9, column 3 is a 3, does that break the left side of the grid? That's a good question. Okay, so if this is a 4, then that's a region. This is a region. Of course, this goes with one of them. And now we have to put... So we have used how many cells so far? We've used... we've used a total of 15 cells. So there are 4 left to put between yellow and blue, but I could put exactly 0 of them over in these 2 columns. So these 2 columns would have to be 2 regions of their own design in that instance. So the other cells out of yellow and blue would both get foisted over here. Which means this would be a 2. Is that a problem? I don't think so, because we're hypothecating this being a 4 here. But it is interesting. In this instance where these are a 2-4 pair... Sorry, where these are a 4-3 pair... we create a hard line in between column 2 and column 3. Okay, let's see. So let's look. Sam's point is that this can't be a 2 because that makes this a 3, and we looked at that observation before. If this is a 2, this is a 3, it now has to look like this. This cell has to be exactly a 4, and we end up with that shape. Okay, but Sam says there's something wrong with that. Then the 8 cells at the bottom of columns 1 and 2 can't make a region. Ah, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, I see why this does not work. Okay, it's because of this. Okay, so this is already broken. So if this cell up here is a 2, it forces blue to be like this, and blue is finished. But the key observation is that that has created a wall here. And now I have a problem where I now have to connect these into a region, but there's also the fact that these two cells are part of the same region. And so they either go with all of these, in which case I get to 10, or they don't, in which case I only get to 8. Okay, so that is a very nice observation by Sam. So this can't be a 2. So this is actually a 4. Which makes all of this yellow. Makes this not a 4. Now, does that make this not a 3 in and of itself? I don't think so. Because if this is a 3, this could still be a 2. I don't know. I'll think about it. Let's see. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it can't be, but let's look over. Okay, so now... Let's see. There's so much to look at now about the world. Oh, I don't know why I erased this being blue. This is still blue. So this is 3, not 4. This could be 5. I don't know that I really want to mark all the candidates for this, but it can't be 4, which seems very relevant. Let's see. So yeah, we definitely have to worry about the same issue with this sort of breaking the grid into pieces. But the count's a little thrown off now by this. Okay, so here's an easy question, actually. Actually, I don't think this is so bad. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cells. So this can't possibly be yellow. Because if this was yellow, then yellow is finished. And now we've isolated 8 cells. So, okay, so this is actually quite easy to see this can't be yellow relative to other previous things, because then yellow finishes, which does mean this digit's a 1. So this is a different region. And this region is not blue, because blue already has a 1. So we'll make that orange. So this isn't a 1. So now that actually means this goes at least up that far, which now means that it's not yellow, because yellow only has 2 cells to give. Yeah, yellow only has 2 cells to give, so yellow can't join this group of at least 3 cells. Ranks with a good point. Yellow already has a 4, so this digit's not a 4. So this is either a 2 or a 3. Let's see. Now, can this join blue? That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That would be at least 7 cells. I don't quite see that it can't yet, but it looks very unlikely. I'm going to guess we're soon going to be able to rule out there being a... this cell could be blue. Okay, so let's count again. What happens if this is blue? If this is blue, I get this wall that looks like this. That's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's only 7 cells. So blue still has 2 cells it could take. So I don't think that breaks these two, because I think we could sort of blend... Actually, let's see. Okay. Let's try and count this exactly. So let's imagine this is blue now. This is yellow or blue. So this is very similar to the situation we were looking at before. In fact, this maybe is exactly the situation we were looking at before. Of yellow plus blue need to take 18 total cells. In this, we've already allotted them 15 cells. Oh yeah, this does break. Okay. Yes, okay, this breaks. So here's the reason why. If this is a 3, yellow and blue now definitely take all of these. Now, yellow and blue cannot take a single more cell in column 1 or 2. That is, they can't take any cells in columns 1 or 2 at all. Because if they took even a single cell in column 1 or 2, now column 1 and 2 can't have 2 regions. They'd have to have only 1 region. But these don't have anywhere near enough cells to give up. Because we don't have 9 more cells between yellow and blue to put over here. And this orange... I guess this orange is completely irrelevant, right? Oh, sorry. No, this orange is not completely irrelevant. This orange is saying that's not possible because the orange is breaking this into 2 pieces, one of which would do it. So that rules out this being a 3. And I think chat was all over this. And so this can't be a 3. Let's see. Well, I was just proving this can't be a 3, because if this is a 3, it makes all of this blue. So this is not a 3, it's a 2. And so this is a different region that I'm pretty sure can't be orange, but it's certainly not blue, is what I believe I have proven. Nicholas sounds like he disagrees that I've proven it, but I will see if other people disagree that I've proven it. Let's see. Could this possibly be orange? I guess the most efficient way would be to... Yeah, actually, sorry, no. The most efficient way would be to do something like that. So this could definitely be orange if it did this sort of fishhook shape. Oh, wait. No, that still doesn't work. That's still... Okay, yeah, this can't possibly be orange, because this is all a region and it's not blue. Could it be orange? Well... I could take these with blue, but then that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That'd still be 10 cells that orange had to take, even if I took every blue cell it could. So these can't be orange. So this is a new region. It's going to be green again. I was just proving, Nicholas, that this wasn't orange before I colored it. Just to be thorough. Okay. I'm not going to recount it, Codec, because if I recount it, it might turn out to be 9. And then I would have to consider this being orange again. It seems safer for everyone to just not do that. Also, here's a much, much, much easier way to do this. Orange needs to take a whole lot of cells up here. Because yellow can only at max take 2 cells out of this collection, orange needs to take the rest. So even if this worked out to be exactly 9 cells, it's still broken. Because orange needs to take at least 5 of these cells. At least 6 of these cells, actually. So in fact... since orange has to take at least 6 cells up here, orange can only take 1 cell out of these 2, and then it's done. Or maybe it takes 0. Okay, so now, as Ranksk is pointing out, now this cell is at least a 3, because it's not a 1 or a 2, so it's at least a 3, and so that means that blue needs to come out at least 1. Over to here. And you can't have a 2 by 2, right? See, this is 5. Yeah, this region would do that, which would still not quite finish it, but would nearly finish it. let's see. Can yellow possibly take this cell? Yellow cannot possibly take this cell. Because if yellow took this cell could no longer be a 1, and so it'd have to be at least a 2. But now yellow suddenly has... yellow has too many cells. At least if I can count. So yellow does not take that cell. So this is a new region. It can be purple. Let's see. Yeah, yellow definitely takes a cell over here. But that yellow still has 2 cells to give. So yellow could take 1 or 2 cells up here. And so yellow can take 1 or 2 cells over here. Let's see. Nicholas says blue can't possibly take the 8 in row 5, column 4. But I don't have any idea why Nicholas says that blue can't take the 8 in row 5, column 4. Oh, Ken! Sorry, yeah, definitely, yeah. I have... This cell is yellow or blue, but I have no idea which color it is as of yet. And have not really made any effort to sort of think about it. I assume this is going to get sort of sorted out via the rest of stuff around it. Okay, so maybe we have to think about all of the... So I think we actually have to do a lot of counting here. So in columns 1 and 2, there are 18 cells. 9 of them are orange. So there are 9 non-orange cells in column 1 and 2. Now, at most, how many of them can be yellow and blue? Well, yellow and blue have already taken all of these cells. So yellow and blue currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yellow and blue have already used 13 of their 18 cells. So yellow and blue can take up 5. So there are at least 4 cells that are green over here. It was not super exciting. I know that green doesn't extend too far, but that's all I can really say. Is that enough to at least tell me green can't possibly take this cell? Unfortunately, I think the count I got was 4, so if this was exactly a 1, I think green could take exactly those and 4 over here and then be good. So I think the answer is no. I think I cannot conclude this. Can blue possibly take this cell? If blue takes this cell, now blue suddenly... Okay, what's the other direction? I should do the other direction. So I did what the fewest cells green could take. Yeah, so green takes at least 4. What's the most cells green can take? Well, green can take at most 6. So I want to think about what the minimum number of cells blue can take over here is. So let's say orange takes all 9, that's for sure. Let's say yellow takes 2. So that's 11. Green takes 6. So that's 17. So we still need a blue cell over here. In all cases, we need a blue cell over here. So blue actually, in that accounting, blue has to take a cell over here. So blue only gets 3 cells over here. And in that accounting, I didn't count the 8. So I think that means blue can't possibly take this cell. Let me do that math again real quick. But I think blue can't possibly take this cell. Because if blue takes this cell, it grows by 3. At least. And so now blue is sitting at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cells already. And then between blue and yellow, we now have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So we still have 2 blue-yellow cells to put over here, plus 9 orange cells is 11. But we still need 7 cells to finish this, and we can only use green, so that doesn't work. So I can argue now that's not blue. And I see chat is going crazy, so chat probably sees something smarter than this. Let's see. Oh, chat is asking what region takes the 1 in column 2. And then chat is also asking what color the 6 is. Let's see. Yeah, so I think people agree, hopefully, with my math over here that this is not blue because of the counting all of the cells that go on in columns 1 and 2. You have to be very careful with columns 1 and 2. Yeah, so now chat is pointing out that actually my argument is even better. Actually, blue has to take a cell in column 1 or 2. Because if blue took no cells in column 1 or 2, then this little 8-cell region is in big trouble, I think, is the point. Because remember, orange is already committed to take 6 cells up here. So orange can only take 1. Green can take 6. That still leaves 1, so this cell's always blue. I think chat has a much smarter way of making the elaborate argument I made that this could not be blue. Okay. Ranksk is now arguing the 1 in column 2 is definitely green, because the orange in column 2 can only be one of the regions that can possibly get to column 2, which are yellow, orange, blue, and green. Yellow and orange and blue already have a 1, so the 1 in column 2 is green. Green, however, recall, has to take at least... how many cells did we say at minimum? It has to take a bunch of cells over here. And so if green tried to take this arrow would now have to be not a 1 and not a 2. It would have to be at least 3. So that would involve green taking 4 cells over here. Plus these 3 cells it's already taken. That would leave green only able to take 2 more cells over here. And that's not nearly enough. I want to do the math again real quick, but green needed to take way more cells than that. What is the minimum number of cells that green could take over here? So let's see. We'll do blue plus yellow again. So blue and yellow are currently at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Blue and yellow are currently at 14. They can take 4 more over here. So 4 plus 9 is 13. Yeah, green has to take at least 5 cells over here. So that's not enough. So Ranksk's point that may have come from someone else was green can't possibly take this cell. Now, blue can't possibly take this cell either, right? Because if blue took this cell, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9... I don't remember airlocks. Unfortunately, let's see. Do I know that blue has to take more than 1 cell out of this? Okay, so now I've got to do the other way. I just did this one way. Now I have to do it the other. Okay, so this is, again, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. This is 14 cells. This is 9 more cells. So over here, I need to fill I need to fill 17 cells over in here with none orange. Sorry, I need to fill 17 cells over here, not counting the blue that already pokes into it, which is 8 cells after I remove orange. And then it is 2 cells after I remove the 6 maximum cells that green could take over here. So what we're saying is blue and yellow have to take at least 2 more cells in columns 1 and 2. Does that sound right? Blue and yellow have to take at least 2 more cells together. Yeah, okay. So yeah, I don't think blue needs any more. Yellow definitely needs 1 for these sorts of considerations. Let's see. Can row 9, column 6 be blue? There's like no possible way that that can be blue. I guess, and the point is, this can't possibly be blue, which tells us what digit goes in it. So, if this was blue, let me explain why this can't be blue. If this was blue, then now I've created a giant blue wall. This is exactly 9 cells. Except now I know this cell isn't green, and it's not blue, and ergo the world is completely fallen apart. So this is not blue, and so it's at most a 2, but it's not a 2, so it's exactly a 1. And so we have another region here. Let's make this region the second yellow region. And so it goes away there. Okay, this is therefore not a 1. Oh, yeah, it's definitely not green. I didn't even think it was worth discussing it being green, because green, remember, only gets 1 more cell over here, because green, I think we said, has to take at least 5 cells over here, if I remember my maths right. Let's see, can these be the same? No way, right? Yeah, these can't be the same. If this region was the same as this region, it would need to take at least that many cells, and that many is 10. So this is another region. So this is going to be another purple region. It's going to go up at least this far. This region's definitely not green or blue. Yeah, people have been pointing out, and this is probably as good a time as any to do it, blue can only take at most 3 more cells out of this. So blue can never get here. Orange, remember, needs a ton of cells up here, so orange can't possibly get here. So green has to get there. So at least those 2 cells are green. Okay, so now, can this cell possibly poke its way into this region? And the answer is only if this cell is also in the region, which would make this region look like that. Which would be really unfortunate from a point of view of the coloring. But I don't think I can rule it out yet that happens. Okay, there's at least 2. I don't yet know if these run into each other. Let's see. Row 2, column 6 can't be 1. Yes, it can't be 1 because of the 1 that we put in the column. So those are all in a region, although that region could well be purple. Let's see. SPQ says column 1, row 2, 3, 4 have to be orange. Yeah, because if yellow were to reach over into column 4, it would cut off all of these things. So yeah, so that is a great point. So yellow could have 2. So yellow could grab this, but yellow can't grab anything else from column 1. Great point, SPQ. Okay. So yeah, so Rank's just suggesting we should probably just mark the candidates of this. This could be a 1, it could be a 2. If it's not a 2, then suddenly it's huge, and it has to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it has to be exactly a 6. So those are the only options for this cell, which is a good point, which is a good thing to point out. Okay, what does that mean for this cell? Yeah, not a lot, unfortunately, I fear. At least immediately. But yeah, there is some immediate tension between these being in the same region. They'd want to be a 3-4 pair, which would finish the region completely. Unfortunately, I know so little about what's over here, I don't think I can disprove it. Trying to see if this is creating a similar airlock situation over here, where it's forcing yellow to take more stuff. But I don't think quite that it is. Let's see. Talk asked about row 7, column 4. Let's see. Okay, so it's not 5 anymore. Because if it was 5, it would join purple, which would then make purple 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It would make purple 9 cells. So unfortunately, that means we have to think just a smidge longer about why this doesn't work. Actually, I think this does work. Oh, no, it doesn't work because of this circle. This circle would then break. Okay, so that's not 5. If this is 4, do we run into the same problem? So we're imagining that this is 4. Well, then it definitely gets joined by this. And so we've got a region here floating around like that. Now this cell, remember, has to be at least 3, so it goes up at least that far. So now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Got 8 cells. And now yellow is broken, because now yellow is too small. So this can't actually be a 4, although I needed to draw it in a little bit to see it. Okay. I probably should go ahead now. Can I rule out this being a 5 yet? I would love to be able to rule out this being a 5, because if this is a 5... Yeah, so this is either a 3 or a 5. I can at least say that for sure. That's probably been there forever. Hey, Chris, welcome. And if this is a 5, then that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 8 cells for blue. And now we've got lots of stuff cordoned off down here. That doesn't work because this arrow has to be a 1 or a 2. Or sorry, yeah. So this cell's a 3 or a 5 just by examination, and it's not a 5 because if it is a 5, we again create a problem with this little tiny circle arrow thing, where this now would have to be either a 1 or a 2 or join blue, both of which are impossible. So this is in fact actually a 3. Blue actually does end here. Okay. So we are getting slowly the boundary of blue drawn in. Okay. Let's see if this is a 3. Oops. If this is a 3, it's going to force this to be a 2, which is going to force a region of this shape. Is that a problem? Not sure. Okay. Are we still in this annoying state where this could be blue? Or can we finally rule out that this is blue? Because if this is blue, then blue finishes exactly like this. Orange has to dip down 1 to take that. Green takes all of these. Yellow takes all of these. Yellow takes that cell and that cell and that cell, because yellow can't join this arrow. And so yellow would have exactly that shape. But I don't see the problem with it being exactly that shape. Did we answer how many cells blue can take outside of column 1, 2, and 3? I don't think so. Let's see. We've done the calculation a lot of times, but I don't think I think blue currently takes the bound that we had number of cells. Although the fact that TotallyNormalCat is asking is suggestive that maybe I should count again. So there are 18 cells here. Minus 9 for orange. So that's 9 left. And so the 9 left have to be eaten up by... Okay, so yellow and blue have to take up at least 3 cells out of columns 1 and 2, which is, I guess, a nice way of seeing that is every cell green takes outside of columns 1 and 2 is a cell that has to be taken by blue or yellow in column 1 or 2. And so blue has to take at least 1 cell, but it already does. So blue could take 1 here, and yellow could take 2 more up there. I think that would be okay. But I need to somehow always be accounting for this 8, which is, I think, a thing that I am always sort of missing, because this 8 is sort of counting as an imaginary additional cell in yellow and blue. So yellow and blue actually really need to take... So yellow and blue need to take 3 total cells out of here, but yellow and blue together only have 2 plus 2 plus 2. Yellow and blue together have 4 cells to give. Okay, so I think if I did the math right there, yellow and blue have 4 cells to give to columns 1 and 2, or wherever else. Not counting this 8, which is all automatically yellow and blue. Blue's already taking 1, but we need at least 2 more over here. And so because there's only 4 cells to give, we're already giving 1. That means that blue and yellow get to take at most one cell outside of this one to the right of this line. Okay. And so in particular, if that math is at all correct, that means that this could never possibly be blue. Okay, and so I want to just revisit that just to make super sure of it, but I'm pretty sure it's right. Okay, so if blue tries to take this circle, what happens? Then blue finishes like that. This circle is a 2. And now blue has no more cells to give. Yellow is now forced to take this cell. Yellow only has one more cell to take up here, so it takes, say, that one. It doesn't matter. Now orange finishes up here in order to clear this out. But now orange has actually used all of these cells. And so now the only color that can take these cells is green. So green takes all of these cells. But that's a problem because green just took 10 cells, and green's not allowed to take 10 cells. So yes, we can finally say blue does not take those cells. So this is a color that's not yellow and not green and not blue. This is a different region altogether. This can be another orange region, we'll say. It's the making sure to always count yellow and blue together so that we can count this 8 that I think I keep not doing goodly. Okay, so, spoiler, orange has to get out. Because if orange stopped here, orange would be at most 6 cells. So this cell is orange, which tells us this cell's not a 1. It extends the boundary on blue. Now orange still has to get out. So that's orange. And now this is capped at 3. I have no idea why this was capped at 3, by the way. It probably involved this region over here or something. So this is saying orange ends here. Let's see. Okay, so orange can have eaten up a total of 8 cells along this path. That's not 3, by the way. Let's see. I'm trying to see what we can do as far as yellow. Now yellow has to take this arrow. That's the point, because now orange has boxed in yellow. So yellow's only way of getting to its cells is to take this arrow. If yellow tries not to take this arrow, yellow is now at most 8 cells. So this arrow is yellow, which automatically forces that this is yellow. Now this arrow, let's remember, is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's going to take at least these 2 cells. Now we can reel this back in. By the way, the second we realized that this arrow had to be yellow, we learned that yellow can't be purple. We actually, I think, had already proven that yellow couldn't be purple. Yeah, we'd already proven that yellow couldn't be purple, but we learned that we actually get an honest border here. Okay, so this, oops. We learned that yellow goes up at least this far. And so now that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cells for yellow. So yellow can't go up more than 2 more. If yellow goes up more than 2 more, then we've run out of cells for yellow. So this is at most a 5. Okay. That feels like significant progress. Purple now has to get out. So this is not a 3 anymore. Now, can we resolve what this is yet? So this is not a 2 anymore. We know that much. So this is either a 1 or a 6. Okay, orange has to get out another cell, because now orange is taking... Oh, no, sorry. Orange doesn't have to get out another cell yet. Orange might not take this cell. Let's see. Should we do a region count? Let's see. This is one region. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's the 8th region. Okay, so there is still some 9th region lurking around here. Yeah, blue is very, very close to being forced. Even though it only actually has, I guess this is a point I had not really appreciated, blue only has 6 cells so far. So blue's actually going to have to take 2 cells down here at least, which probably means yellow's going to escape over there. Let's see. Right, okay. Right. So, good point. Put together the thing I was talking about and the thing Carl was talking about. So blue currently is at 6 cells. It could take the 8. It probably does. That's 7. So blue has to take at least 2 cells out of these 5. So now green can take at most 3 of the cells out of these 5. So now green has to expand 1 over here. Now one of these cells is green. Now orange, if we continue to chase this down, orange now could take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cells without taking this one. So orange always has to take this cell or it's never going to finish. So that's going to further do that. We can continue our line of pleasantries up there. So that's cool. More good stuff for us. Yeah, yellow still needs to take a cell in column 2. Okay. Yellow needs to take a cell in column 2. Blue needs to take 2 cells in columns 1 and 2. Oh, but I don't know if they take 2 or 4. So I don't think... Sorry, I don't know if they take 3 or 4. I forget the exact way the count works, but I don't think that tells us what we need to know yet. Yeah, I know yellow has to take a cell over here, but I don't think that tells me anything. Because yellow could still take the 8 or still take a cell over here. I don't think our math is yet to the point where we know that blue has to take the 8. Let's see. Chili says... Let's see, how far do I have to... Oh, there we go. There. Green needs the 1 in column 2. Okay. So Chili has observed, this is a really nice comment. So we earlier noted green needs the 1 in column 2. And so it needs to take that in one of these 2 cells. Well, if it takes it here, this cell is green. If it takes it here, this cell is also still green because blue only gets at most 2 cells. And if this cell is green, blue can't reach here. That is a really nice observation, by the way, Chili, that this... so now we know one of these 2 is a 1, and whichever one it is green. Okay. Row 5, column 6. Can't be a 4. Yes, that cannot be a 4, because if that was a 4... then that would look like this, plus that, or, sorry, this plus that, at least. But now what's going on with purple? This can't be purple, because yellow can't take anywhere near this many cells, and purple would be done at this point, so that's not going to work. And so this can't be a 4. I don't think I said that very articulately, but this can't be a 4. So now this is a 2-3 pair, which is interesting. If this is the 3, then I get an L shape that looks like this. Whereas if this is the 3, there's a sharp border here, and then this goes across like that. Hard to say exactly what that looks like at the moment. Okay. So 3, 4, 5, 4, 7, or 8. I do have a 2-3 pair in this column for whatever good that does. I'm going to take a quick bathroom break. I'll be right back. Alrighty, let's see. I don't think I've felt too insanity driven by chat is usually very helpful, especially you, Nicholas. You come up with lots of things. I get the impression you are a very intuitive sort of solver, where you see a lot of things and say, "I'm pretty sure that's true," and then I usually reply with, "I agree. I think it's probably true, but I don't quite see how to prove it to my satisfaction." But I think you all do a good job of sort of corralling me into the correct direction generally. Let's see. Now, we seem to have been in the middle of a puzzle of some sort. I think we were doing more counting. Were we doing more counting? Row 7, column 1 has to be blue. Oh, right, because blue needs to take either 2 or 3 cells over here. Oh, why can't blue take those 2 cells? And not get that one. Is there something wrong with blue taking exactly these 2 cells, TotallyNormalCat? I was afraid of that. Let's see. This pair is very suspicious. I would really love to say this can't be a 6. Actually, maybe this has to be a 6. If this is a 4, then I create a wall here. And now purple has to get out, which traps yellow. Is that a problem? Okay, and so then the question I think becomes, okay, if purple does do this, where is purple getting a 1? Because in this universe, that's a 1. So if this is a 4, this is a 1. And so now purple has to do that. And now that's a 1, that's a 1, that's a 1. The only place it could possibly get a 1 is from all the way up here in row 2. Because the 1 is now spoken for in all of these rows. And that's exactly 9 cells. And so the question is, can we say that this is actually broken? Which is the opposite of what I wanted to do. But hey, right, this is broken. Yes, TotallyNormalCat with the swish, this makes it join this arrow, which means instead of being 9 cells, it's actually 11 cells, which is too many. Okay, so this is not a 4. Which makes me then, of course, do that. Okay, so this is a 6. This now needs to go at least 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. At least to there with purple. Hey, welcome, Glum Hippo. Glad to have you around. Always happy to see you. Okay, so now purple only gets 1 more cell. And so purple's either going to take its 1 here, 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 or here. No, one of those places. Okay, but now maybe I should look at this cell. If this were a 3, it would join purple, which is not going to work great. Because if this were a 3, now purple would have a jajillion cells. So that's a 2, and that's a 3. Which means that all of this is a region. So I'm going to unshade this. I'm going to shade these are going to be the region of light gray. Because that's now forest. Okay, so now purple needs to get a 1 either here or here. Those are its only options. Okay, what about this cell? Okay, well, this can't possibly be a 5 anymore. If this were a 5, it would... Oh, maybe it wouldn't join purple if this was a 5. Sorry, I don't think that's quite true. I think it's going to turn out to be true. Oh, here's a good point. Gray is also going to need a 1. So gray's already at 7 cells. So gray, I suppose, could get a 1 here or here. Or here. Or maybe there. No, not there. I guess if gray came over like this, maybe? Row 7, column 9. So purple had... Oh, okay. Purple can get a 1 here now. Sorry. I proved that this was a 6 by proving that it couldn't be a 1. And in the situation where this was a 1, then yeah, purple got that. Purple couldn't have had its 1 here. But now you're right. Purple could get its 1 over here. Max is completely right. Or here, for that matter. And probably has to be. Oh, I guess I do know for sure. Okay. I was thinking I didn't know for sure that this wasn't light gray, but I do, because if this was light gray, then these would be light gray's 9 cells. And spoiler, these are not the 9 cells of a region, because that is not orthogonally connected. Beautiful. Okay. So this is a different region. It's going to be the second blue region. Okay. Now... blue's going to have to take a jajillion cells up here, because in order to possibly finish, blue's going to need all 3 of those cells. No? You want a red region. Oh, we don't have any red regions. How do we not have any red regions? Well, TotallyNormalCat, because I like you, we can have a red region. Oh, I lost my pencil marks. No! Bring me back my pencil marks. Okay. We're going to... do that. Okay. And now, because red needs to finish it, and this needs to be a 5, which means that's also going to be red. That's going to put a border, bloop, 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 like that. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cells. So red still needs 3 more. More counting with zeta for eleventicals. I know that's eleventicals' favorite part of the stream. Yeah, I don't know how that went away. Okay, so this is not red, because it now has a 5. So someone's going to take the 5, and the only place that can possibly take the 5 is gray. Because yellow can't take the 5. Yellow only gets 1 cell. So that's going to be gray. And so now gray only has 1 cell left in its entire existence. Oh, and in fact, red now needs to finish. So red is going to wrap around like that. And now we actually, despite the fact that we didn't even know about this region until the very end, this is the first region we've finished. Which is, wow. This is a hell of a puzzle. How long do you think it will be until we have the first 5-hour Simon solve of a puzzle? So I think we're pretty close. Yeah, we can have a region dance. We're gonna try and do the disco thing that Ranks was doing earlier. Region dance. Okay. 7 gray cells. Well, yeah, but we know we're going to get a 3-hour Simon solve and then a 4-hour Simon solve. I feel like it's like thinking like what is really the limit of how long Simon will solve a Sudoku puzzle for us? I mean, I know there are practical considerations. Like he at least purports to have a family that presumably do that. So it will take a while for him to sort of schedule them. But I mean, he did that Fistimafel puzzle that was pretty hard that took like 3 hours or whatever. Okay. So green... Let's see. SBQ says green takes 2 to its right. Oh, yeah. Now we've got to, like, count all of this mess, right? Let's see. Okay, so I know that 2 of these cells are gray. 1 of them is purple. So that's 3 of them gone. There's 3 left. The 3 remaining are yellow-orange. So between yellow and orange, we've currently spoken for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 cells. Yellow plus orange is 16, did I say? I already lost count. 6 and 5 is 11. 16. Yep, 16 cells. So yellow and orange get 2 of these cells. So green gets 2 of these cells. And if green gets 2 of these cells, that means green only gets 1 more cell over here. And green only getting 1 more cell over here means green can't possibly get to this cell. So this cell's going to have to be blue. And now once this cell has to be blue, then now blue... Oh, nope, I miscounted. I thought that was going to mean that blue was going to not be able to take the 8, but no, blue can still take the 8. But wait, we said green is taking 2 of these. So blue actually, yeah, so blue takes these plus 1 of these 2 as well. Right, because green only gets 1 more. So green takes that or that, because green takes 2 over here. So okay, so blue needs to take at least 1 more cell down here. It could take that one, say. In that case, blue is at a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, blue would be at 8. So I don't think I can yet conclude that blue has to, or that blue can't have the 8. But I think blue could also do that, and I think that would be okay. Yep. Yellow still needs something in column 2 as well. Does that push orange? No, yellow taking 1 thing in column 2 is exactly equal to orange staying exactly like this. If yellow takes a second thing in column 2 or a thing in column 1, then orange gets pushed. So I'd love for blue to take this 8, but I still don't know how that's going to happen, unfortunately. To start doing Sudoku on my irregular regions, because these 1, 2 seconds. Reconnection successful. Okay, let's see if this works. Uh-oh, no, we're still dropping lots of frames. 1 moment. Oh, it's going down. We're not dropping frames now. Okay, we're staying at 35 dropped. Okay. I think... Nope, I said that and then it went down. Blurry video, but sound is okay. Can you reset the router, Tristan? I think we might need to do that. Little bitty Zeta in very pixelated corner. You want me to reset the router? Is there anything else we can possibly do? Oh, refreshing helps? Ranks says. Like refreshing what? When you say refreshing. Ranks is attempting to help. Us refreshing. F5. The people watching the stream should refresh, says Ranks. Okay, we're maybe slowly returning to normality. Okay, seems like we're doing it. I could just watch this little number of how many frames I've dropped tick up, but now it is holding steady at 230. Uh, okay, so we're now down to dropping a single-digit percentage of frames. So let's try. Let me know if it happens again. We were doing something with orange. Some nightmares. Yeah, I think we know how many cells yellow, blue, and orange take over here. But I don't think we can conclude anything from it, because they're just going to mishmash around each other, I think, however it happens. So I don't think we can pin down orange yet, is my theory. So let's see. The webmaker, by the way, welcome the webmaker. Not sure I've seen that nick before. Suggests looking at the ones in each region. Let's see, and says red can only take one in row 1. Why can't red take one over here? I was looking at the ones in purple earlier. But I think one in purple can go a skadzillion places, I think, it turns out, accidentally. Oh, nothing else can take the one in row 1. Right, okay, that's a good point. The one in row 1, there has to be a one in row 1. And the only other cells, or the only other regions that have access to row 1 are yellow and yellow and orange both have a 1. So that's a beautiful observation. So red needs a 1, and it goes in one of these two cells. Okay. So we can pencil mark that. And purple needs a 1. And purple's 1 can either go there, or there, or there, or there, I think, are the places that purple can get a 1. Let's see. Who is most hurting for 1s? Orange, I guess, could get 1 down here. Is there anywhere else orange can get 1? Oh, orange could get 1 there as well. No, it can't. There's a 1 gone. Okay. I'm realizing, by the way, I can get rid of these, and could have a long time ago, and just never did. Orange's 1 is actually a bit under pressure. Can't take it there or there. Or there, of course. And of course, can't take it anywhere there. Can't take it on top of the 3. Let's see. Is orange able to escape up here to take a 1? So orange, yeah, orange has plenty of cells to take a 1 up here, but it is really getting precarious. So TallCat asks about the 1 in column 4. The 1 in column 4 we can actually place, beautifully enough, because 1 in column 4 can't go in red, can't go in yellow, can't go on top of the 8, can't go in blue, and so it's in one of these two cells, but it's not in the one that already has a thing, so there's a 1 right there. So this is a 1, and now what color can take this 1? Well, it's already been argued that green takes the column 2 1. That's huge. That's huge. Because remember, green took... Yeah, so I now don't even care about the fact that this is orange. It's going to be orange. But now the thing that excites me, this cell's green now. Because remember, green has to take its 1 in column 2, and it can't take it here anymore. So this is a 1. So the bet cell is a 1. And the bet cell is green, which is the most important part. And so we can go badunk badunk. Okay, and now green, remember, is not allowed to take more cells over here. So green's done over here. So both of these cells are blue. And so now blue really is done. And so now this cell's yellow. And so now yellow gets just 1 more cell over here. So yellow can't take that cell anymore. Now let's go back over here. So this is orange now because nothing else can take it. go down there. Now green has to get out. In fact, green has to get out too. So green gets out and finishes. Bloop, bloop. Oh, by the way, apologies if someone has said this a million times. This digit turned out to be a 7 some time ago when we finished this whole who's a what's it up here. Okay. I missed a border. Oh no. Where? Oh dear. Rewind. Put back in the border where it belongs. It didn't look very one-y. I'll admit that. Row 9. Ooh. Bloop. There we go. So let's see. One of these three is a 7. I'm looking to see if there's any juicy Sudoku to do. Okay. Now, let's do a yellow count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Darn it. Yellow could take exactly all of these cells and not poke out. What about orange? 2, 6. Orange needs another cell up, because now if you count, that's only 8. So orange needs this cell, which lets us bloop again, which is important. So let's see. If this is a 3, it puts a 3 here. Exactly. I can say that much. I'm counting. Let's see. Okay, so orange has come up here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So what happens if this is a 3? Well, if this is a 3, yellow finishes like this. And that's a 3 because it's the only place for 3 in green. None of that is interesting, though. I suppose there's got to be something else interesting that TotallyNormalCat is seeing. Think about C ampersand. Column 7. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Yeah, so I guess maybe the way to phrase this is, where is the 3 in column 7? I think asking that is, at least for me, that's more natural than asking about this being a 3. Where is the 3 in column 7? And the answer is it has to be in yellow. It can't be there. It can't be in gray. Can't be in gray. Can't be in orange. Can't be in purple. Can't be in green. And so it can only be in yellow. And so I don't know exactly where the 3 is in column 7, but I know for certain it's in this yellow. So that is not a 3. That is a beautiful observation. I just saw it a little, I just saw it the converse way. Okay, so that's a really nice point. So that scoots up yellow a bit more. So now yellow's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yellow's not 8 cells. Okay, so yellow can't possibly take the 3 in column 7 up here anymore. Because yellow's already at 8. So yellow can't do that, and it can't do that either. Even though cracking the cryptic will let me do that. So yellow's 3 is in one of these 2 cells. Which is pretty nice. I know one of these is a 7. Okay. So let's start doing a little bit of irregular Sudoku. So where's the 8 in this column? It's in one of these cells. Where's the 7 in green? It's in one of these 3 cells. Where is... Let's see. Are there any other places where things are nice? maybe there are no other places where I could do this. I know one of these is the 4 or 5 here gets pushed into one of these cells. I know. Where's 8 in row 9? So 8 is in there. Okay, got it. Yep. 8 in row 9 now. Because we forced 8 into green up here, 8 now in row 9 can only go here, which is huge again, because that puts a 3 here, and more importantly, it makes that cell the last cell in yellow. And so yellow is now going to finish, which is going to let us say that that cell's definitely orange, and that cell's definitely orange. And now orange is finished. Well, TotallyNormalCat has already done the puzzle, Tristan. I'm not sure that that counts as, like, I mean, he's a rock star for having done the puzzle. But it's not quite the same. Let's see. Okay. So now purple still needs a 1, which could go, actually, no, purple can't have a 1 there anymore. Okay, where are the 1s? Yes, the purple 1 is now forced to be, yeah, I guess I can go either of those places. Let's see, so my 1s left are all up here. So I need to fit a red 1, a purple 1. So the gray 1 is definitely in this column. I can say that, because the purple 1 is going to be in whichever of columns 8 and 9. The red column isn't. So there is a 1 in one of these two cells that is gray. Let's see. So yeah, one of these two is purple. Oh, this one can't be purple. If this was purple, it would isolate this cell. Okay, I was thinking about this in a way more complicated way than I needed to. So purple does that. Gray does this. Good point, whoever said purple and gray are done, and then I did not understand it, but I understand it now, I want to say. This can't be a 1, because if this was a 1, it would make that a 1, and this can't be a 1. So that's not the 1, so that's the 1. So now that's a 1 and that's a 1 to give these 3 regions their thing. I'm not sure if it's a thing, but it's definitely a premise of a lot of movies. We did watch that whatchamacallit movie the other day, 50 First Dates or whatever. That doesn't sound right. No, that's not the name of the movie. What's the name of the... I can't remember the name of the movie about memory loss that we watched. Make whatever appropriate jokes that you would like. Okay. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. There we go. Hey, Russ. Well, don't worry. You've only missed the first part of the first puzzle. I think we've still got about an hour to finish this up, so you're well in time to appreciate. Appreciate and hang out. Let's see. Okay, 5s are getting restricted. Let's see. Are 3s just done? No, 3s are not done. So 3 in row 9 is in one of 2 places. But what about 3 in purple? 3 in purple is place, isn't it? Yeah. These 3s see everywhere. Oh, no. 3 in purple is in one. Okay. Well, that's still good. 3 in purple is in one of these 2 places, which means that's not a 3, which means it's a 2. And so we finally get to solve that mystery, which lets us continue the coloring. That's an orange. Hey, Panthera, welcome. I still don't know why reflexively, when I'm saying hello or goodbye to someone, why I reflexively raise my voice as though it's going to be difficult for them to hear me. Like harder for them to hear me than it would be for normal. I don't know. Let's see. Okay, so if this was a 3, that would be a 3. which I think is fine. Hey, Acid Helm, welcome. Oh, where's 3 in column 8? Great. Chris Palmer has the good finish. Where's the 3 in column 8? It can't be in gray. It can't be in yellow. It can't be on top of the 1. So that's the 3 in column 8. And as soon as that's the 3 in column 8, that's the 3 in row 1 / in red. So now we've got even more 3s hanging out. Now we can ask about 3 in column this one. And the 3 in column this one now has to go there. Let's see. And now the 3s over here make a little bitty X-wing. And now that does let me color something. Wait, no, I didn't. I did that wrong. The 3s over here make a little bitty X-wing. Sorry. Those. But now I know yellow needs a 3. So the yellow cell that is the last yellow cell is here. So this cell is definitely orange. I love the little bit of lag means I do something wrong, and I just know I'm just about to get a billion people in chat telling me, no, not that one. But it's too late. I can't go back in time. We have to live with the mistakes we've made, I'm afraid. Let's see. Directionary says row 9, column 8 is done. Yes, so it is. I could just fill this digit in. 1, 2, 3, 4. And so that is our last circle arrow clue, which now puts a 4 over here. In fact, it places the 4 there in green. So this is now a 7-8 pair. And so now these digits are known. 5, 6, 9 is what they are. That one's not a 5. That one's not a 6. Let's see. Okay, so now this digit is known because it's not a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's a 7. Because 7 is the only digit left in yellow, because remember the yellow 3 is over here. Let's see. So these two digits are now 5 and 9. And we know the order. That's a 9. That's a 5. These digits are 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These are 2, 4, and 6. That one's not a 6. That one's not a 2. That one's not a 5 either. Sadly, the rest of them, I think, could be anything. Yeah, I have heard that people prefer having the puzzle on the right and me on the left because it works better on phones. It does have a downside, which is that if you try and watch it on a TV with the chat on the screen, that does not work. But I bow to the masses of preferring it to work nicely on a smartphone. Plus, I rarely watch my stream on TV. Let's see. That is anything. Okay. I pencil marked too many possibilities. That sounds a lot like me. These aren't 5 at all, because there's a 5 there. That's fair. I do know one of these is a 4, which I don't think really does me a lot of good, but it's true. Uh-oh. Am I losing streams again? Or losing frames again? It doesn't look like I'm dropping frames again. Let's see. So where is 2 in red? It's not there yet. It's there or there, I believe. Let's see. Let's just start gratuitously pencil marking things, and we'll throw in a random bonus thing just for TotallyNormalCat when we fill in everything. Let's see. Nope, not a thing there. Row 1, column 6 has a 2 under it. Oh, okay. So it's actually rather funny. One of these is a 2, actually. Actually, no, this just is a 2. This is the only place for a 2 in red, actually. So it's even better than chat claimed. There's only one place in red for a 2, which makes that a 2. Is that the last 2 in the grid? No, it's not. Well, that's not a 2. Let's see. So now, yeah, 2 in blue's got a lot of places, unfortunately. Let's see, are my 1s done? Yes, my 1s are done. What about 3s? My 3s are not quite done. So where's 2s in orange? Not there, or there, or there, or there. It's got to be in row 1. Yeah, 2 in row 1 has to be in orange because it can't be in red. This is, I must say again, a very sweet puzzle. So the 5s, saith Carl, in columns 1 and 2 are orange and green. So the 5 can be placed. Got it. Okay. So yeah, so blue needs a 5. I know that orange has a 5 somewhere. It's over there somewhere. So it's not here for blue. It's not there. It's not any of those places. So one of these 2 is a 5. And it's not the one that sees a given 5. Good night, Kodak. Sleep well. Okay, and so that's going to see a bunch of 5s to knock some 5 pencil marks out. There's a 2 looking down at this cell, so I can remove that pencil mark. Let's see. How can there possibly be this many digits? It seems like too many digits. The 1 in blue points at a 4 or a 6. Did we just write this out? Okay, so this is not 1, 2, or 3. It could be 4. It's not 5. It could be 6. At the moment, don't see why it can't be 7, but it's not 8. And it could be 9. Okay, so there's a law of leftovers thing going on here that I did not immediately spot. So the point is... yes, okay. So the point is, whatever these digits are, the 1, 4, 5, and 6, they have to appear over in this section in blue. And so, in fact, this has to be a 1, 4, 5, 6 quad in order to make blue work. So that's not a 7 or a 9. And so, owing to that, I can just go ahead and fill in that these are a 2, 7, 8, 9 over here, which you'd think I would be able to like remove even a single pencil mark from, but it seems like no. Okay, so what else do we have going on? let's see, 8 in orange is in one of 3 places, which aligns the 8s between orange and green, which means these aren't 8, means one of these is 8, and means that none of these 3 are 8s because of the total mess of 8s that we just dealt with. And so that actually places 8 in purple, believe it or not. So there is an 8 up there. So 8 in gray is in one of these 2 cells. Or rather, I should say 8 in column 8 is in one of these 2 cells, which happens to also be in gray. So the rest of gray I can fill in only has 4 possibilities. It's a 4, 6, 7, 9. That one's not a 7. That one's not a 6. That one's not a 7. Okay. So the 7, actually, we can do the same game. The 7 in orange is also pushed into these same cells. And so the 7s and 8s again form an X-wing, which again force 7 out of these cells in blue, which now mean that these are, in fact, a 7-8 pair. And so I get to knock 7 out of those cells and out of that cell by exactly the same logic that happened over there. As well as this one. This one can't be 7 anymore. And so the 7 in yellow actually has to be here. Yeah, the 7 has to be there. I am looming in on the 5 having to be here. Hey, Tom Groot! Row 5, column 5 can't be a 6. Because row 5, column 5, row 4, column 7, row 5, column 7, and row 5, column 8 must equal the bottom 4 rows in column 9. Equal the bottom 4 rows in column 9. Sorry, I'm trying to understand this. Oh, is this like you did? Okay, so you did, I bet you did this. So, you said, okay, so this is a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a total of 5 regions. So I'm going to take out one of those regions, and another region, and another region, and another region. And so now what we learn is that these cells are a region. And so that is, these are a set of the digits 1 through 9. Now, what do I need to add to these 5 purple cells to get a set of the digits 1 through 9? Well, I need to add those 4 cells. Okay, and so these 3 cells contain exactly the same digits as these 3 cells. So that is what this is what Tom Groot noted, just by as he says, or as they say, a regular Sudoku thingy. Yes, a regular Sudoku thingy gives us this. Okay, and so as a result, there's no 6 over here, so there's no 6 over here. So that's a 4, that's a 6. That 6 gives us, that's a 4. Did this 4 give us anything? This 4 gives, that's not a 4. Let's see. Okay, there's a 6 there. That tells me that's not a 6. So in fact, just to finish this row, I need a 2, 4, and 9. 6 in row 1 now has to go in red, because now the only place in red for a 6 is in row 1. So one of those two is a 6. Someone said something about gray a while ago that I think I got distracted from, but I do not remember what it was. 6, 9 pair in row 2. Yes, because of that 4 that I did not clean up. So yeah, so that's a 6, 9 pair. So that means we get to pencil mark more things. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so there's a 3, 7, 8, and this one's the 8. So these are a 3, 7 pair over here, which gives us alignment between the 7s, actually. So that's not an 8, which means this is another of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. It's not a 6. It's not a 7. It's not a 4 either. Okay, great. This is a 9. So that's a 6. That's a 2. These are neither 2 nor 9. They are a 5, 6 pair. That seemed to fall out of nowhere. 4, 6, 9. That's a 4. Oops. 4, 9. That's a 7. That 6 looks over here. Says that's a 9. That's a 5. That's a 6. Let's see. Let's fill in these 3 cells while we're at it. We need a 5, 6, and a 9. That one's not a 6. That one's not a 5. That one's not a 6. So that one is a 6. Funnily enough. All right, that does not immediately give me anything though. So let's scratch in red. 6, 8, 9. Okay. That one's not a 9 at least. Well, I can rule out 7 from being here, for whatever that's worth. In fact, this cell is a 6, 8, or 9 as well, just to fill out the column. This cell's not a 6, so it's an 8, which means these aren't 8, which immediately is going to mean that this is a 2, 8 pair over here. But this 2, 9 pair down here resolves the 2, 8 pair. So that's an 8, that's a 2. That 8 looks down, sees that's a 7, that's an 8. That 7 looks back up, sees that's a 3, that's a 7. And that 3 tells me that's the 3 in our X-wing, so that finishes our coloring. And so that is orange. Let's see. This 5, 9 that I marked a long time ago, it was seen by a 2, 9 pair, so it was actually resolved at the time, which I'm sure someone in chat told me, and I did not notice. Let's see. So these aren't 9. So let's see. This is just the last cell of the column. It's a 4. Or the row, take your pick. This is the last cell of orange. Gloomhaven, the game that comes in a coffin. It's a 9. Let's see. We can look over here. That's not a 9. We can say that's a 2 or a 5. I don't think I know which one it is yet. Okay, so we've got just a little bit more pencil marking to do, and I suspect that the puzzle will give in from there. So there's a 5, 6 pair in yellow, so that's a 9, which gives us the 2 and the 9. Let's see. That's a 2, 5 pair. This is too many digits. What am I missing? Okay, why do I... Oh, there's a 2 literally right there. Okay. I was unable to see this 2 for reasons that I am uncertain of. Let's see. That's... Oops. Ah! That's not a 4. There's a 4 across the row. Let's see. Yeah, I have not gotten to do nearly as much board gaming as I prefer, thanks to lockdown. I am definitely in that side of the camp. We did get to play a bunch of Spirit Island, at least, but, you know. That 8 rules out 8 from being here, which, if I believe my pencil marks, tells me that that's an 8. That 9 tells me that's a 6, and that's a 9. These 2 cells, I probably know what digits they contain if I look very carefully. Let's see. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 are indeed the cells that go there. Let's see. Now, Tristan saw that something wasn't a something. I'm trying to see where the something was in row 8. The something isn't a something. The something isn't a something because of this 2. So that's a 5, that's a 2, that's a 4. That 5 says that's a 6, and that's a 5. That 6 says that's a 7, and that's a 6. That 7 says that's an 8, and that's a 7. And that 5 says the something isn't a something. And did we accidentally solve the puzzle? I think we accidentally solved the puzzle. Wow, it did not become a 2-stream puzzle. Very nice puzzle. That might be my favorite of the chaos constructions that I have done on stream so far. That was really cool. Yeah, so much cool stuff going on here. I might include, if you could update the LMD page with just a picture of what the arrows mean, because I think what the arrows actually meant would have been not my first guess when I read the rules as is. Maybe I am dense, or maybe I have been doing too many puzzles by Stefan Bura where every arrow means something different. But I was not quite sure. Yeah, this is very much not a compass. So I was originally thinking this was going to be a compass where it was going to count, say, in compass rules, depending on how you counted, this arrow would be a 4, because there are 4 cells to the right of this arrow in here. Yeah, that was very smooth. It never felt like it was unclear what to look at. Yeah, everything sort of fell into place in a nice way, and it really made time sort of fly by. Yeah, I think if I had not done a bunch of puzzles with a bunch of arrows that meant different things, I might have just read them and been like, oh, that. But having seen some made me worry. It's sort of like how once you've seen that killer cages don't let you repeat things, suddenly in every rule you need to be told that you can repeat things if you are allowed to repeat things. But yeah, I think in the Fistimafel one that had a very similar rule set, the arrows told you how many cells were in this direction, but if the region did something ridiculous like this, they still told you, they still counted the stuff over here, which was especially heinous. So, like, as it happens, that never comes up in these rules, that's a possibility, that maybe actually you're counting stuff that goes past this, but these cells are definitely in the direction of this arrow. I think they're just not. And by the way, it would make a way more horrible puzzle to count these, so I definitely think you should not count them. I'm all in favor of the rules. Just the clarity would be a little better. Okay. So with that out of the way, now with that excellent puzzle behind us, let's see. I'm I was thinking maybe there is a chance that I would do the Glum Hippo puzzle that Glum Hippo has told me will be difficult, but I think probably I should save the difficult Glum Hippo puzzle. So let's do... Yeah, this one's just amazing. This is a A++ puzzle. Let's have a look at Ornament by Fuxia. So this is a puzzle with Simon is Fistamafel. Oh, come on. He's definitely Fistamafel. This is pretty well known, I think, in the Sudoku community. Even if people like TotallyNormalCat try to cover for him. All right, so this puzzle, we have normal Sudoku rules. We have regions given to us again, and they're even the quote-unquote right regions. We have killer cages, so digits can't repeat within the killer cage, and they give the sum. So, for example, these sum to 24. There we go. So these four sum to 24, and they sum to 24 without repeating digits. And then we also have the Chinese Whisper rule, which I have greatly enjoyed all the Chinese Whisper puzzles by Fuxia I have done, and I believe I've never seen or done a Chinese Whisper puzzle by a non-Fuxia. But the Chinese Whisper rules say that adjacent digits on one of these lines can't have a difference of more than 2. So these digits that are next to each other on the line, they can only be at most 2 apart. So to get started, there are a few cages that are gimmies. So the 4 cage has to be 1, 3. It's just if you want to make a sum of 4 in 2 cells, you can only do that as 1, 3. If you want to make a sum of 16 in 2 cells, you can only do that as 7, 9. So that is... I mean, literally, if you look at... Simon posted a video called Fistamafel Speaks, and if you watch the video, it is just him talking. He basically admitted it. Let's see. Okay. So now... This is very interesting because it says this cell is at most 5 in terms of this 24 cage. Although that's not quite restrictive enough to immediately give it to us. This 5 cage across from a 6 cage is actually forced. And there's a couple ways to see that. One way is to say that if you combine them, it would be an 11 cage, and the only way to make 11 in 4 is 1, 2, 3, 6. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 5. The other is to say that there's 2 ways to make a 6, which are 1, 5, and 2, 4. And if you use 1, 4 to make your 5, you've just accidentally cut off both your ways of making a 6. So either way, that means you have to use a 2, 3 here and a 1, 5 here. Yeah, he could have at least used like a voice synthesizer or something to make it sound a little bit different. I was really expecting at least that. Okay, so we've got that. Okay, so this digit is at most 2 from 2, 3, and at most 2 from 1, 5. So this digit can only be, well, it can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by virtue of that. I guess, are technically all of those still possible? Maybe all of those are still possible. Now this 24 cage is getting really interesting. Because both of these cells are at most 5. And so the maximum that I could make these two sum to is 9. Plus then the most this could be... Okay, so I think this 24 cage is going to be forced. Because the most this could be is 5 and 4, which is 9. Now, the most this could be, if this is a 4, 5, I'm just going to write in the maximum, is a 6. 4, 5, 6 sums to 15, which would require this to be a 9 in order for it to work. So that is all forced. Did I do that wrong? I did that wrong, didn't I? Sorry, I did not add correctly. Those are 15. Wait, no, that sounds right. It's 15, that's a 9? Then why didn't this work? Oh, no, it does. Okay, that works. Never mind. I mathed correctly. Okay. So that gives us the 7 and the 9 down here. Let's see. So this is one of the ways to make a 5 that uses neither a 7 nor a 9. It's good to know. That's right. Now we've got all the digits, and Worm can be very happy with all of the digits that we have, except for the one that Worm can be unhappy about. But woohoo! Digits. These are 6, 7, 8, 9. They're either 6, 9 or 7, 8. So again, they're pretty high. And so if I look at this, the maximum this can be is a 3. So the maximum this can be is a 5. So the absolute maximum this can be is actually a 7. So this is a 6, 7. That's an 8 or a 9 if I actually look at that. Let's see. Typon has a smart point, which is that this can't be a 1, because if this is a 1, it makes this a 5. And if this is a 5, it makes this a 1, and those are too far apart. So this is actually a 2, 3, or 4. So now if this is a 1, the maximum this could be is a 3, and the maximum this could be is a 5, and that's not going to work. So in fact, as Chris points out, that's a 3 and that's a 1. So we actually have that. That is all worked out. Okay. Or I guess even the 4, 5 actually worked it out. So there's two different ways that this got worked out. This being the much more convoluted of them. But leave it to me to take the convoluted answer. Okay. If this is a 1, does it break the 22 cage? So if this is a 1, we could go 3, 5, 6. 3, 5, and 6 is 8, and 6 is 14. So if I wanted to go from 14 to 22, I would need to put an 8 here, and I could put an 8 there. Okay. So this could still be a 1. Let's see. Let's go ahead and write. Those are from 1, 2, 3, 4. Except if I think about it, this goes from 7 to 5. The minimum this could be is a 3. So this is not a 1 or a 2. So this is not a 3 or a 4. Just to sort of continue this theme of going around the ornament. But as always with Fuchsia, just the beautiful setting of just this pattern just running through the whole grid is just gorgeous. Okay. Let's see. Take a look at 5 cages on the bottom left. Yeah, so these are also 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see. Russ is saying 3, 5, 6 in that order would be a problem because you would have 2 5s adjacent to each other. Let's see. 1. Oh, right. Okay. That's a beautiful point. Okay, I would not have seen that very quickly. So I said, okay, what's the maximum that I could make these if this is a 1? And I said, okay, well, if this is a 1, then this could be a 3, then a 5, and then a 6, because it couldn't be a 7 because there's a 7 there already. But that's not true. Because Russ points out, if this is a 1, this is already a 5. So if this is a 1, actually the maximum I could make this is a 3 followed by a 4 followed by a 6. And 3, 4, and 6 is 13, which would need a 9 here, and I can't have a 9. So actually, I don't think this can be a 1. And there's no way it gets better if I go from 1 to 2 and then 2 to 4 and then 4 to 6. Yeah, there's no making it better. So this is a 5. That's a 1. So that's not a 1. That's not a 4. 5 cannot be next to a 2. Oh, by the way, that's a 4. So 5 is in fact next to a 3, which is next to a 2. So we get a whole bunch of digits sort of going in nicely around the grid like that. That was a gorgeous spot, by the way, and gorgeous setting that it worked out that way, but I'm very impressed with rapidly spotting that. Let's see, I can pencil mark the top and bottom of column 5. Sure, that's a good idea. Okay, so the 3 here is going to go to a digit that's at most 5, but the 6, 7 goes to a digit that's at least 4. So this is a 4 or a 5, but it's not a 5, so this is just forced to be a 4, right? I think this is just forced to be a 4, because it has to go up. It could go from 3 to, and it can't go from 3 to 5, so it's got to be a 4. So that's a 6. So that's a 9. So down here, this is at least a 5, but it's at most a 6. So this is a 5 or a 6. Based on what this is, I believe. 9s gaze longingly into this box, but not quite longingly enough to be useful. I know one of these two cells is a 1. So left in the box, we have 6, 7, 8, 9. These are not 9 or 6. So in fact, that means these are a 7, 8 pair. That's not 7 or 8. But it also tells us the order because the 5 can't be next to an 8. It can only be next to a 7. So that's gorgeous. Okay, let's look at... yeah, this is a really neat puzzle. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so 2, 3, 5 to finish out the column. This can only be a 5, though, because 7 can't be next to 2 or 3. Oops. Additionally, there's a 3 in this box already, so that's a 2 and that's a 3, while we're at doing Sudoku things. Let's see. So interestingly, 6 connects to 4 and 5, but those are both already gone in the box. So this I know is a 7 or 8, just by pseudocology. Now this 24... Oh, sorry, no, I was trying to do 24 and 3, but never mind. I do know the 24 cage can't have a 9 in it, but I don't think that's a huge problem. 8, 7, 6, 5. What's 8 plus 7 plus 6 plus 5? More than 24 in any event. Okay. Row 7, column 6 can only be a 6 now. So this has to be next to a 7. So it can be... So it has to be at least 5, but it can't be 5. So it can only be 6, right? And now probably, once I've figured out that that's a 6, probably I can figure out what this is if I'm really smart. Let's see, that's 18, so that's got to be a 4 to make the cage work out. And so remaining in the column, we've got a 1 and a 2, and an 8. So that is not an 8. One of those is an 8. Okay, let's fill in the remainder of what goes in over here. So let's see. So we need a 1, 3, 4, 5, a 6, and a 9. That one's not a 9. Let's see. Peter says row 3, column 3 and 4 is a 7, 8 pair. Let's see. So if this were a... Okay. So yeah, that's a good point. Okay, so If this is an 8, then this can be a 9, except it can't, or a 7, but it can't be a 6. If this is a 7, then we could go all the way down to 5, except 5 and 6 are already gone. So that's a good spot, Peter. These could only be a 7-8 pair. They have no mobility owing to this 5-6 glaring at them. So now this has to be less than 7-8, because it can't be 7, 8, or 9. So this is a 5 or a 6. And so now the total of this needs to be 24. So those are 15. So I need these two to add to 9. And so, in fact, 4 or 5 doesn't work. So this is a 6 and this is a 3. And that's a 1. It's not a 1. It's not a 1 in the corner either. Okay, remaining in the row. 3. No, not 3. 5. 7, 8, 9? No, not 9. 5, 7, 8. I got there eventually. Just takes me a few tries sometimes. Okay, so 6 can go next to 5 or 7 or 8. Actually, 6 can go next to any of these things. Let's see. A 5 would put a 4 here. A 7 would put a 2 here. An 8 would put a 1 here. Enjoy your exercise, Panthera. We'll see if this puzzle takes shorter or longer than the previous one. So that's all good. Okay. Row 5, column 1 is extremely limited. Good point. Right. These two have to get tied together by this cell. Okay. So this cell is at most a 5 by this, but it's also at least a 3 by this. So this is from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, except it's not 1 or 2 by this. So now this can't get to 8 anymore. So this is a 5 or a 7. So that's not a 1. So we have a virtual 2-4 pair through the column. But I don't know what I want to do with a virtual 2-4 pair. Oh, someone's saying it can't be 3 by Sudoku. Oh, look at that. Okay, can't be 3 by Sudoku because there's a 3 across the row. Who knew? So once this can't be 3, this can't be 1 anymore. And so that makes this a 2-3 pair, which then makes this a 4 and a 5 and a 4 to make all of that work out. These are not 5 anymore. Let's see. So this can't be all that many things. It can't be 4 or 5. So it can only be 1, 2, or 3. I think it can be literally any of 1, 2, and 3, but it can't be many. It can't be many things other than that. This can be. It can't be 1, but it could be 2, 3, 4, but it can't be 5. Let's see. This can go. Well, it can't go up to 5 or 6, and it can't be 1. So this is also 2, 3, 4. So bizarrely, if I did that right, we have a 2, 3, 4 triple in this row. And Russ says row 3, column 9 does not have any optionality to it. Let's see. It's not 1, 2, 3. It's not 4, 5, 6, or 7, or 8. Wow. Yep. Naked single. This is a 9. It's the only thing it can be. C's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8. Wow, that is a great spot. Okay, so that's a 6 and that's a 9. Let's see. Now, the absolute maximum the sum of these could be is if they are themselves a 2, 3, 4 triple, which is 9, which means that this cell has to be at least an 8. Because I can't repeat digits in this cage, remember. So the maximum is 2, 3, 4, which is 9, which means this has to be at least an 8. But it can't be a 9. So this is an 8. That's a 7. That's an 8. And now this can't be a 1. So this is an honest 2, 3, 4 triple. Now that lets us fill in this row. We need a 1. and a 9. Well, I know the order. That's a 1. That's a 9. These two cells, well, they definitely have a 1 in them, so that's a 2. These are a 1 and a 7. I don't think I know the order on that yet. These two cells... Oh, well, hey, how about that? That 3 looks down here and says, hey, that's a 4. So that's a 1. So that's not a 4. Or a 3 for that matter, because there's a 3 looking down at it still. So that's a 2. Ergo, that's a 3. And so that's a 4 because of the cage. So that's a 2. That's a 3. And now row 7, column 1 doesn't have any closed one? Wow, this is getting out of hand. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9. Yep, this is a naked 7. I wonder how many times you have to say the word naked in a stream before you get demonetized. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pair to finish off this, and it's resolved because there's already a 9 in this box. Let's see. Let's fill in. Yeah, let's fill in. Let's fill in the rest of the box. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These aren't 2. These aren't 7. These aren't 6. These aren't 4. So that did some good work. That's a 2. That's a 6. That's not a 6 or a 2. So that's a 4, 7 pair. Let's try our luck again. See if we can spin the dice one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So these aren't 8. They aren't something else either. I swear. No, sorry. Nope, I can't count. These aren't 5, though. Let's see. These aren't 6, although there wasn't a 6 in here to begin with. These aren't 4. I did not see that one. Okay, that might be all I get out of that. This isn't a 2, though. I don't know how long that's been there. This isn't a 2 either. Probably since I put that 2 there, if I were to guess. Why did I never fill in these digits? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Easily distracted Zeta continues bouncing around the grid. Let's see. So, that 6, SPQ points out, looks down. So that's a 5 and that's a 6. What about these? Oh, that 6 looks down and says that that's a 5. That 8 looks up and sees that's a 7 and that's an 8. So now we've done our ornament. Let's fill in these 3 cells. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, these are 2, 3, 6. Well, those aren't 3, so that's 3. That's 2, and that's 8. So that's a 1. So we probably know what this digit is. So that's a 9. Let's see, 1 to finish out the column, 8 to finish out that column. 1 here says that's a 7 and that's a 1. That 8 looks over here and says that's not an 8, so that is an 8. So across the row, go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, this is not a 6 or a 7 or a 3, so that's a 5. That's a 7, that's a 4, that's a 5. That's a 4, that's a 7. This is not a 5 or a 7. 6 and 3. Okay, this row is done. Let's see. So that's a 1. Let's see, 1. Let's see. Okay, we've got a 2 that's got to go there. And a 7 that has to go there. Do I have error checking on, by the way? I do have error checking on. Okay, so I will know if I have made a catastrophic mistake through this. That's a 2, it looks like. These remaining digits are 5, 5, 6, 8, 9. These aren't 8, 9, so these aren't 5, 6. So that's a 5, that's a 6, that's a 9, and that's an 8. That was a really fun puzzle. All right. Yeah, and let's continue the relaxing train, and let's do a Renban puzzle by Clover. Yeah, that was a beautiful puzzle, Fuchsia. Very nice. I keep intending to someday set a Chinese whisper puzzle because as I said, I think I've done 3 or 4 of these now by Fuchsia, and they've all been great. But I have never actually successfully done one. Okay, let's restart this. Sorry, that's the restart. Yeah, by the way, I tried to say this last time, but I should keep reiterating this, that if you're newer to Sudoku and you are mystified by anything that I do and want me to explain it, I'm very happy to explain everything explain anything in more detail if you like. Okay, so this is a Renban puzzle. So I think nowadays the chic way would be to write these lines in purple, but I think this is a slightly older Renban puzzle, so they get to be gray. And so these lines are Renban lines, and what they mean is the digits on them are consecutive digits in any order. So, for example, these could be 6, 7, 8. That's a string of consecutive digits. And it could go 6, 8, 7. That's fine. And that's the only rules. These givens mean that these are the digits that appear in that cell in the final solution. I should explain those because we don't get those a lot. Although we did actually get a lot of givens in the TotallyNormalCat puzzle. I have to give credit where credit is due. Okay, so the thing that you immediately spot here, if you've done a lot of these, is that I have to put a 1 on one of these Renban lines. And as soon as you have to put a 1 on a Renban line, then you also have to put the 2 and the 3 on the Renban line. So 1, 2, and 3 are on one of these Renban lines. The 2's not there. Now, why that's interesting is it then has implications for 1 in this box down here. Because I now can't put 1 on these Renban lines. Because if I did try and put 1 on one of these Renban lines, what would happen? Well, what would happen is that I would have a 1, 2, 3 here, but it would have a 1, 2, 3 looking at it, which would mean I would have 4 digits from the set 1, 2, 3 in the column, and that's not going to work. And so that actually means that the 1 in this box can only go in one of those 2 places, which is pretty cool. Now, let's play a similar game. Where does 2 go over in this box? Well, 2 gets to live on the Renbans again, by force. But remember, for the same reason, I can't put 1, 2, 3 on one of these Renbans. And so you have to put 2, 3, 4 on one of these Renbans. Which assuredly tells me something, but I don't know what yet. Now do 1 in box 7. Wait, didn't we already do 1 in box 7? Are you behind directionary? I realize me asking that now is not going to help in any way, shape, or form, but what are you going to do? So let me bounce back over here and note that in this box, I can't put a 9 on either of these Renban because it would need to go with an 8. So 9's actually shoehorned into these columns over here, which is assuredly going to be relevant at some point in my life. Uh, ah, where are 2 and 3 in this box? That's gorgeous. So could 2 or 3 be on one of these Renbans? And the answer looks like yes at first. Oh, wait, 2 and 3 could be on this Renban, couldn't it? Sorry, I retract my claim. 2 and 3 can't go on this Renban, though. Because then it would look at one of these. So the 2 and the 3 in the box are either on this Renban, in which case that's the 1, 2, 3 Renban, or the 2 and 3. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, the 2 and 3 have to be on this Renban. Right, okay. So what are the options? The 2 and 3 can't be on this Renban. If the 2 and 3... Oh, I could put the 2 and 3 exactly here and then not break this. Yeah, okay. So Peter is suggesting that maybe the correct way to phrase this is where is 4 in box 1, which I agree is a much easier way to see it. The 4 in box 1 is now going here, so these are 4, 5, 6 as well. So in fact, this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 quadruple. So this is a 7, 8, 9 triple, which now we'll come back to this, and I'm pretty sure it'll be exciting. But now that 7, 8, 9 triple does the same trick down here that 9 now can't be on any of these Renbans. So this is a 1, 9. Oops. This is a 1, 9 pair. Okay. Which now forces this digit to be something from a very small set, right? So this could be 2 or 8. But the only other thing it could be, if you think about it, I need to leave a string of 3 digits. So this could never be 3. I realize it can't be 3 because of that, but it could never be 3 because it would isolate the 2. It could never be 4 because that would isolate the 2 and 3. It could never be 5. Wait, no, it could be 5. Sorry. Because then this would be a 2, 3, 4 Renban and a 6, 7, 8 Renban. Okay. 5 is the only thing that this could be. Yeah, and JLib thinks about it the mod 3 way, which is perfectly fine. And it's not 8, because the 8 is up here. Okay, and so that means one of these is for sure 6, 7, 8. Because the 8's not there. Of course, the 8's not there. So one of these is 6, 7, 8. I don't know which one. But that's going to be interesting to keep track of. And neither is it 7. So one of these is 6, 7, 8 in order to accommodate the 8. But that tells me the 6 on that one is actually among these two cells. So one of these is a 7, 8 pair, and then that one goes with a 6. Okay. So now, what is this cell? So it is not 6, 7, 8, or 9. Let's see. So this is 5 or 2 or 3. But it can't be 2, 3. We already argued that, right? Or is this the one that could be 2, 3? No, dang it. This is the one that can be 2, 3. Well, that tells me at least that this is either a 6 or it's the other 2, 3. Okay. But I think we need to come back to this now. Okay. So this is either a 5, in which case that's a 6, which all seems okay. Or this is a 2, 3 pair. And we have to stow the 2 or 3 somewhere in here. And so there's only 2 places in this box that I can stow the 3, which are this place or exactly here. Because I can't split the 2 and the 3 across these 2 columns, because then neither of these could be 1, 2, 3. Okay. So I'm realizing I should be doing the same thing in box 2, which I've not properly thought about. Where's 1 in this box? Well, 1 can't go down here, so 1 lives up here somewhere, not on one of these lines. If 1 was on a Renban, it would need to go with a 2. So whichever of these is 2, 3, 4, it puts the 1 on the 1, 2, 3. Because remember, one of these 2 vertically is 1, 2, 3. One of these is 2, 3, 4. And so that's going to put a 1 here. So there's a virtual... Yeah, there's a virtual 1, 2, 3, 4 triple. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4 quadruple in one of these rows. Okay, so again, I can't put the 3, 4 in this box on one of these Renban by very similar reasoning to over there. Okay, so someone wants me to ask the question, and this is a very good question. Where does 9 go in this box? And the answer is 9 can only go down here in this box. Because if 9 went on here, it would again put a 7, 8, 9, which would break this cell. Okay, that's very clever. So there's a 9 over here. Now there is a... Okay, and there is a 5 on one of these Renbans, just because of the 5s that are given. And that's not on the 2, 3, 4 Renban. So that 5 actually goes with a 5, 6, 7 Renban. Okay, so this is in fact actually a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sextuple. So these are, in fact, we know exactly what they are. They're a 1, 8, 9. So that's not an 8. And the 1, 8, 9 tells me that's not a 9. These aren't 1. I think I already knew that. So these are a 1, 8, 9. And this isn't an 8 either. So it is a 7, and we get to dance. Woohoo! Chat was very excited about this one. Woohoo! Dance! Okay. We have a digit. Okay. Okay. So this time I was not trolling you. Let's see. Okay, so chat was moving quickly, and also I was just having fun bouncing around looking at these, because the trick is obviously occurring in all 4 of these, that you have to ask yourself, can this be the thing between them? So can this be a 2, 3? Can this be a 4, 5? Can this be a 6, 7? And so we have to ask that question repeatedly, bouncing around all of these Renbans. Okay. So this can't be a 3, 4. So either this is 3, 4, or the 3, 4 up here, which unfortunately, again, is, I think, yeah, so the 3, 4 would have to go there, or this is a 3, 4 pair. Okay, does that work? If I have a 3, 4 pair here, what are these Renban again? They're a 2, 3, 4, and a 5, 6, 7. So if this was 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, no, that doesn't work. I can't do that. So I think this is not the simplest place to do it, but I think it works. Where are 3 and 4 in this box? So either they're on this Renban, or they're not on this Renban. If they're not on this Renban, they certainly can't touch this Renban. So they're in these 3 cells. But if I split them between these 2, that is between row 1 and row 2, I break this box where, and I understand the pencil marks do not make this super easy to see, I have a 2, 3, 4 on a Renban. So they'd end up here. And so I would have a 3, 4 in these 2 cells in this universe. And now what's this Renban? Well, in this universe, this Renban is a 5, 6, 7 Renban, because one of them's a 2, 3, 4. It's not this one. The other's 5, 6, 7. But now this box is broken because one of these Renban is a 4, 5, 6, and this C is a 4, 5, 6. So that does not work. So the whole punchline of this is a 3, 4 Renban. And we can finally start cleaning up our pencil marks some, because once this is a 3, 4 Renban, this is not the 2, 3, 4 Renban. This is the 2, 3, 4 Renban. So this is the 5, 6, 7 Renban. Okay, and so now we come across here and say, now, one of these is a 1, 2, 3. I don't know which one it is, but the digit in row 1 of that one is a 1, because it's not a 2 or a 3. So the 1 does not go down here. Oops. So that means that there's no 1 in these cells, which means that this is a 1. Okay, so now these cells come from 6, 7, 8, 9. This one's not 6 or 7. So this is 8 or 9, which I suppose I probably could have figured out. So this is not a 6 at the very least. Let's see. Okay, so I think I can do that. And now I think I have to go and play the same game in the other boxes and see if I get a similar thing happening. So the similar thing to ask about would be to ask about where did 2 and 3 go in this box. And so they either go on this Renban. By the way, these are not 2 or 3 anymore. These are not 5 or 6 anymore. Oh, that's actually a good idea. Okay, so one of these is 4, 5, 6. Well, that one's got to have a 4 in this row. So one of these is a 4. So let's do a little bit more digit dancing. One of these is a 4, so that's not a 4. So that's a 3, and that's a 4. So not a 3 there either. So yeah, this is, in fact, I can fill in if you want, this is a 2, 4 pair. These aren't 5 for reasons. So this is a 3, 6 pair. And so this must be a 1, 1, 5 pair. Okay. So we're still asking ourselves, can this be 2, 3? So if this is 2, 3, then what do I have above it? I have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 above it. So is it possible that the string 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that neither of these Renban contain a sequence of 3 from those? And so if this is a 5, then I've got a 2, 3, 4 on one of these Renban. That's not going to work. If this is a 2, I've got a 3, 4, 5 on one of these Renban, and that's not going to work. So yes, I cannot put the 2, 3 here. If I put the 2, 3 here, I definitely break one of these Renban from the column. And so this is a 2, 3 pair, which now lets us resolve this box. And so if you like digits, we're about to have a lot of digits. This is going to be 6, 4, 5, 3, 2, 1. Like that. That's a 9. That's a 1. Let's see. So is that going to tell us, or do we have to think more? We might have to think more about life. Is that going to tell us what's going on down here? In particular, I want to know what this cell is. Let's see. Okay, we know there's an 876 on one of these. But I don't know which is an 876. And then another has 3 and 4 on it. No, sorry. Another has... Yeah, it's got 3 and 4 on it. One of them has 3 and 4. Okay. So maybe it's helpful to fill in these cells, probably. So these are from 7, 8, 9. These aren't 9. This can't be a 5 anymore. That one's not a 5. These aren't 8. So this is a 7 or a 9. So because this is odd, this can't, or sorry, this has to be even. So it's a 6 or an 8. Oh, there's a hidden 5. Oh, beautiful. Well spotted to those of you in chat who noticed that. That is a 5. Which means one of these is a 5. We'll go ahead and say. 9 is already placed in box 7. Yeah, I don't quite yet know something that's always on these. I don't quite know what's going on here yet, although I'm close to knowing what's going on there. So options for 9 in box 6. I don't think I see what's going on yet. So 8 is definitely on one of these in box 9. That is worth mentioning. And the 8 has to be joined by a 9, because if the 8 is not joined by a 9, then this is an 876 Renban, and I can't have an 876 Renban. So I at least know the 9 is over here. So that's going to tell me, and those aren't 9, that's going to tell me the 9s between these two boxes align, which is going to wipe 9 out of these cells and place a 9 there. Good spot to chat for that one. So yeah, so one of these is 7, 8, 9. Yeah, one of them's 7, 8, 9. That's what I know. Now, I've got to be using 5 over here somewhere. because the 5 is pushing this down here. So the 1 can't, the 1 and the 2 both cannot make it onto a Renban, because 5, 4, 3 is the lowest I could make it. So the 1 and the 2 are definitely down here. So that's not a 2. Now, in fact, I think if we think about it a little more, we can narrow down the options on this cell. Because... actually, maybe not. Maybe I disagree with myself. I might disagree with myself. It's possible. Okay. So it's interesting. Here, the digits that are missing are 6 and 7. And 6 and 7 are not going to put any pressure on these Renban if I put them on here, I do not think. I will go ahead and fill in that that's not a 5 while I'm at it. Let's see. 1 in box 7. So where did 2 and 3 go? Well, 2 can go here. 3 is on one of these Renban in box 7. We know that. We just once we know what digit is left off of the Renban in box 7, we know exactly what's on the Renban in box 7. Three is not in column 1. Well, yeah, 3 is not. Okay, so the 3 is not there. I agree. Yeah, so I think SPQ is on the right track, which is to ask, what's the other digit down here? We've got a 1 and a 2. Now, I could have a 3 down here, plausibly, but I could not have a 4 or a 5, because if I had a 4 and a 5, 4 or a 5, I would cut off, I would create a string of digits. That does not work. 6 is allowed, because then I would have 1 and 2, and then I could have 3, 4, 5 on a Renban. Oh no, that doesn't work. I can't have 3, 4, 5 on a Renban. No, I could have 3, 4, 5 on a Renban. Ignore me. 6 is fine. I could have 3, 4, 5 on a Renban over here. And so, yeah, these are joined by 3 or 6. And so this is not... And so, in fact, we know what this digit is. Okay, so that's the right way. So this is now not a 1, 3, or 6. So it is a 2, which makes that a 5. These are not 2. These are not 2. So now we know what the contents of these are. So 1 is 8, 7, 6. 1 is 4, 3, 2. So I know the 4 is over here in this column. Because I have 4 is looking at elsewhere. But yeah, these are... I've got 3 and 2 over here. Which I understand is a huge mess, but we'll deal with it. Okay. So this now can be neither a 4 nor a 5. So where do 4 and 5 go in this box? Well, not on this Renban. Could this Renban be a 4-5 Renban? Well, While we're at it, actually, let's ask, where does 4 go in row 7? 4 in row 7 goes over here. So that is worth noting that the 4 is in row 1 over here. So where do 4 and 5 go? Can I put a 5 here and a 4 here? Because let's see, in this box, that 4, 3, 2. Yeah, I think I can, unfortunately. What can this digit actually be? I should probably write down the possibilities. Okay, it's not 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not 5. It's not 6. Okay, so this is a 7 or an 8. So this is a 6, 7, 8, or 9. Well, it's not a 6 because there's a 6 in the box. So one of these is definitely an 8. Oops, definitely an 8. Okay. What about this digit? What is it allowed to be? Let's see. It's not 1 or 2. These aren't 2 either, speaking of. It's not 1 or 2. It could be nominally 3, 4, not 5, 6, 7. It's certainly not 9. Okay, but let's think, are any of those actually broken? Have to go 6, 7 if it wanted to do that. Is that okay? If this were a 6, 7 and that were a 6, 7. I think that's okay. Otherwise, this can't be a 1 for sure. Yeah, so I guess this is either a 6-7 pair or it's a 3-4 pair. Oh, if this is a 3, what's this? If this is a 3, then that has to be a 2. Maybe that's okay. All right. So, yeah, I don't know what the Renbans are here. Here I know what the Renbans are. So 1 is, just to repeat for myself, 1 is a 6, 7, 8. Oh, I can't put the 6, 7, 8 here, can I? Right. I can't put the 6, 7, 8 here. This is the point. If I put the 6, 7, 8 here, then together with the 7, 8, 9, that's gorgeous. Yeah, I can't put the 6, 7, 8 here because I'd get a 6, 7, 8, 9 quadruple and I'd break the 7, 8, 9 Renban. Gorgeous. Okay. So I know now the 7, 8, 9, sorry, the 6, 7, 8 Renban is down there. The 2, 3, 4 Renban is there. That's the 4. So those aren't 4. Let's see. So that's not a 6. That's not a 3. I did not do that right. Let's try again. That's not a 6. That's not a 3. The 9 in this box is definitely down here. So it's not up here. Yeah, the 6 is in one of these cells. Okay. Can I get any joy out of looking at this column? Okay, I've got a 2, 3 pair. This is not a 6 at least. So yeah, we've got our 7, 8, 9 triple. 6, 7, 8 triple. There's an 8, 9 pair looking down here, so that's not an 8. Oh, it's not a 7 either, because there's a 7 looking at it more directly. So that's a 6. It's not a 6, so this is a 7, 8 pair. Okay. This can't be a 4, 5 pair anymore, because now 4s are looking at both ends of this stick. So where does the 4 go in this box? The 4 in this box goes in one of these two cells. Yeah, well, the 6 in box 9 could be in any of these places, I think. Because remember, I don't know what the other one is. The 6 is either here, in which case then we get a different combination. It's based on what these other two Renban are. Let's see. I'm going to pencil mark these. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, 4, 7, 8. These are from 1. No, they're not from 1. These are from 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And these are from not 1, not 2, 3, 4, 5, not 6, 7, 8, but 9. That may not have been as useful as it was in my fantasies. Let's see. So what is actually on this Renban? Let's see. It could be 1, 2 if it's that direction. It can't be 2, 3. Can't be 3, 4. Can't be 4, 5. Can't be 5, 6. Can't be 6, 7. It could be... No, it can't be 7, 8. So it's either 1, 2, or it's 8, 9. Those are the only... Oh, it can't be 8, 9, because there's definitely an 8 here. It is 1, 2 in this direction. The only possibility left for this 2-cell Renban is 1, 2. So that makes that a 6 and that a 1. And that's going to clean out this stuff a lot. So these aren't 6 anymore. So yeah, one of these is 9, 8, 7. One of them is 3, 4, 5. So whichever one is 3, 4, 5 has a 5 in this row. So there's not a 5 down here. So where does the 5 go in this row? It has to join the 4, making us a 4, 5 pair. Oh, and we know the order because of the given 5. So that's a 4 and that's a 5. So this is a 7, 8, or 9, which gives us a 7, 8, 9 triple in the column. So we've got a 1, 2... We need a 3, we've got a 4, we need a 5, and a 6, and then a 7, 8, 9. Okay, so that is it for this. So that has to be the 5, because we said 5 could only go in one of 2 spots in the box. It has to go in one of those. That's a 3, 6. I don't think that's resolved yet. Let's see. Chat is saying I can clean up column 7. Oh, I bet I can clean up a lot of column 7. Let's see. So that's a 7. This is not a 6 or a 7. It's a 3 or a 4. Let's see. So that's a 3, 4 pair. So what is this? This is a... Okay, well, if this were a 3, this would have to be a 2 because it couldn't be a 4. If this were a 4, this would have to be a 3 because it couldn't be a 5. So this is a 2 or a 3. Now... Oh, no, it's 3, 4. Darn it. Oh! No, one of these is 3, 4, 5. Okay, yeah, one of these is 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's the point. The one that's 3, 4, 5 can't go with this. This is the same point that happened over here. If I put a 3, 4, 5 here, it makes this a 2, 3, 4, 5, which then breaks this cell. I think this is maybe even a cleaner example than the earlier one of how this works. So this is not a 3, 4, 5. This is the 3, 4, 5. This is the 7, 8, 9. Okay. This is not a 3 or a 5. It's a 4. These are not 4. That's a 3. That's a 5. That's a 9 because there's a 7, 8 looking at it. These aren't 9. That's a 7, 8 pair. That's a 7, 8 looking at those. Okay, this bounces up here to place a 2 up here. That's not a 2. Look up column 9. Yep, we're slowly cleaning up column 9. That's a 6 or a 7. Oh, but it's not a 7. It's a 6, so that's a 5. That 7, 8 pair says that's a 1, that's an 8. Okay. Look down column 8. Well, I know that's not a 9 anymore. I suspect that's not the punchline that you were hoping I would find. Let's see. I can pencil mark column 8. Let's see. I need a 2, 3, 4. So we've got a 5. And we need a 6. We've got a 7, 8, 9. Okay. All right. And what's in this column? I need a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. 1, 7, 9. Okay, well, that can't be a 9. I can see right away. That can't be a 1. I can see after some thought. So that cleans up this. This is either a 1 with a 2 or a 7 with a 6. There's no 3 or 4 here. So this is a 2 or a 6. So you're not quite there yet. Close. 2, 3, 6 triple in row 4. Great spot. Chris, that's a 2, 3, 6 triple. So that's not a 6. And let's fill in the rest. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is what's left. That's not a 4. That's a 7. Okay. So, and so that is the 4. That's the only place for a 4 in the row. At the end of the day. That's not a 6 because of the given 6. Words I find myself saying often. In fact, actually, that's the 6. This Renban always has an 8 on it, so that's never an 8. Okay, let's see. 6 in row 6. Well, it's not there, or there. So yeah, the 6 in row 6 has to go here. Good catch. And that's going to do it. That's going to be the last straw, because that 3 now sees over and fixes this 2 and 3. That 2 fixes over this 6 and that 7. That 3 sees that that's a 4 and that's a 3. And now all the pieces come tumbling home. So that's a 9. Let's see. So that's a 1. This is not a 7 anymore. That's not a 9 anymore. Let's see. What is left in this row? Let's just go ahead and fill it in. We need a 2. Actually, we need a 2, and I know where the 2 goes. And we need a 7 or a 9, which goes there. Let's see. There's a 7, 8 pair in column 1. Sees that that's a 6 and that's a 7. That being a 7 says that's an 8 and that's a 7 and that's an 8. That being an 8 says that that's a 9, or that being an 8 says that that's a 9. Take your pick. That 2 says that's a 3 and that's a 2. We've got a 7, 8, 9 triple in this column, so we have a naked, we have a naked single here. It's a 1. Let's see. So this cell should be known. It's a 7, so that's a 9, so that's an 8. So this is not a 3 or a 6 or a 4, so it's a 2. That 4 sees up, so that's a 3 and that's a 4. Let's see, got to keep chasing because we're somehow not done yet. How are we possibly not done yet? Oh, because I didn't see that this 9 fixes everything. That's why. That's an 8, that's a 9, that's an 8. So that's not an 8, that's a 7 or a 9. So the 8, oh, and this is never an 8 because there's an 8 on this Renban. And so ergo, I have a 7-9 column, so that's the 8. So this is a 7-9, but that's a 7 and that's an 8. And that's a 7, so that's a 9, that's a 7, that's a 9, that's a 7. And another gorgeous Renban puzzle from Clover. Just a gorgeous setup with this repeated... What I really like, I mean, there's a lot of things to really like about this, but one thing I really like about this is that the geometry is the same over and over again, but the way the geometry works out, thanks to the givens, is different each time. So it's not the case that it worked out that these were always the digits between the two givens. And you had to like play this game where, okay, what about 1? What about 9? How did those things play out? And so it was very, despite the similarity that sort of gave you a sense of how to tug at the strings of the puzzle, there was a lot of variety as you went through this. So yeah, this was the typical brilliant Clover puzzle. By the way, if you want Clover puzzles, Clover essentially, I believe, only posts puzzles in the testing for the Sudoku channel. I think Clover very rarely archives puzzles, and I think Clover approximately never posts puzzles on Logic Masters Germany. So if you want Clover puzzles, you have to go to a somewhat unusual place to get them, which is you have to go to the Sudoku testing forum on the Cracking the Cryptic Discord. Alrighty, but I think that's going to be it for today's stream. Excellent choices of puzzles for today, that all very memorable and nice. I'll be back on Wednesday with a longer stream, so especially for those of you for whom this is at a very awkward time of day, I will be back. I'll be back for a longer stream, so at least some of that stream will be at a less awkward time of day for you on Wednesday. Have a wonderful day / evening / morning, whatever time it is where you are, and I'll see you soon. Special thanks again to our moderator Directionary, who has generously done this, even though I have not once doubled his salary, and like Ranksku might be causing inflation by repeatedly doubling his salary. And also special thanks to all of the patrons who you'll see thanked on the screen. We greatly appreciate it. If you'd like to support the stream, the easiest way to do that is to like the video and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you soon. And if you want, you can join us on Patreon, patreon.com/zetamath. See you soon.